Shree Nowmi, Mahashivratri, Shree Janmashtami are all lunar calculations. So what's the difference? The difference is a sunrise difference. So if there's any subtraction or addition to be made about the timing of the event, it will hardly be, it'll be approximately an hour or less, depending on the sunrise difference. And therein lies the main difference. So last night, or rather this morning at 12:16 a.m., having made the mathematical adjustments, the 8th phase of the moon, which is identified as Durgashtami, the honoring of Mother Durga particularly, finished at 12:16 this morning. And at 11:25 tonight, the Nowmi, which is the acknowledgement of the incarnation, the anniversary of the incarnation of the Supreme Master Sri Ramchandra, will end tonight. His most auspicious hour is midday, hence we are getting puja / satsang to end at around midday. So hopefully we have that with a bit of clarity. So in future, whether it's Mahashivratri, Basant Panchami, whichever one, it's a lunar calculation. The solar difference in time of India does not factor. Moving on, what is so special about today? Well, I quote Ramayana, Kal Yuga Samyuga Ananihi Jo Narakara Vishwas Gai Rama Guna Gana Vimala Bhavatara Vinahi Prayas. It is said in Kali Yuga, in this age, that quotation comes from a doha in Uttarakhand, the last of the 7 chapters, for want of a better word, the last of the 7 volumes in Ramayana, where Kagbhushundiji, the narrator, tells the world that Kali Yuga Samyuga Ananihi, there is no age comparable to this age known as Kali Yuga, which we envisage as the dark age, the age of negativity. The other ages were Dwapar, when Bhagwan Krishna came. Then there was Treta, when Sri Ram himself came, and Satyug, where some of the major incarnations took place. And those are highly regarded in metal, those ages. But here it is. Kagbhushunji says that Kali Yuga is incomparable. Why? Kali Yuga Samyuga Ananahi Jo Narkar Vishwas, provided that we go with faith, implicit faith. And implicit faith for what purpose? Gai Rama Guna Gana Vimala, that we recite, we remember, we reference the divine, sublime exploits of Sri Ramchandra when he came in that age of Treta. 2 ages before, when he came in that age, all his exploits are dominant as far as using an axis for living life and not merely surviving in this age of Kali Yuga. Gai Rama Guna Gana Vimala Bhavatara Vinahi Prayas. And the same efforts that were made in the other ages by the highly devoted people, the sages and the saints, to gain liberation, to master Avagaman, the cycle of birth and death. And that is equated to, we get that benefit in Kali Yuga by the simple recitation, remembrance of the exploits of Sri Ramchandra. That is why today is one of the reasons today is of paramount importance, because we don't just want to survive in life. We want to live life. And to live life, we have to know how to either circumvent or hurdle obstacles. And Sri Ramchandra's divine acts are like a template where challenges we might meet in a home, in a community, with as far as our leaders are concerned, how he handled them in a most civil manner. So, that's where we lean on today to seek the blessings of Bhagwan as we perform puja, that enlightenment will dawn upon us. If it's already there, will brighten as we wend our way through life's sojourn. So, a special welcome we are streaming live, courtesy Vision 2, photo and visual production, video production, and thanks to Kavita and Aaron. They are doing a job which they master from past experiences. We are so happy to have you all. Blessings to you. And to all those who put together today's undertaking, making prasad, bringing flowers, bringing painti, sponsorship of whatever, God's blessings to you. So we are about to begin puja. Those who are viewing will be done at a pace where you can perform your own puja at home. So we'll be doing explanations. One must know what they're doing. It's not about offer this and offer that. And so by doing that, we'll give everybody a chance to perform puja. So we begin, first of all, by purifying all the articles before us, purifying ourselves by sprinkling water while I recite this mantra. Om apavitra pavitro va sarvasthanga tupiva yaha smarit pundarikaksham savahibhyanta shuchihi. So now we purify ourselves. We wash hands with the mantra. One person can do it, and then I will say the mantras for that person who is performing. Om Govindaya Namityastam Prakshalyam. So we wash hands. And now we sip 3 times. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Om Govindaya. Wash hands. Om Govindaya Namityastam Prakshalyam. Now there is a ring that was made for you. We'll bless that ring. Sprinkle some water on it. Om Pavitristo Vaishnavyo Savitura Prasukpunam Yachidrina Pavitrina Studyasya Rashmibihi. It's a ring of kush grass. Some of you all are looking for rings. I think they are on one of the tables there. And after you put on your ring, we'll get ready to put on a raksha. So just hold while I recite those mantras for the performer of the last undertaking. I repeat, Om Govindaya Namityastam Prakshalyam. We sip right and top left. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Again, Om Keshavaya Namaha. One more time. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Wash hands. Om Govindaya Namityastam Prakshalyam. So those who need to put on a raksha, I know some of you all may have raksha. Men on the right, males on the right, females on the left. Om Yena Badho Baliraja Danavindra Mahabala Tena Tvam Bandyami Rakshama Chalamachala. Having done that, just a quick explanation. Why males on the right while females on the left? Because the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body and vice versa. And there are certain qualities that we want to potentiate, to highlight in the male. Hence the rakshas for the male on the right and for the females on the left. Having done that, we're going to purify the seat where we are going to sit. So sprinkle water on the seat while I recite this mantra. Om Prithivitva Dhrita Loka Devi Tom Vishnuna Dhrita Tom Chadharamam Devi Pavitram Kuruchasanam. And just before you sit, put a piece of kush grass below your seat. Take some akshat, your rice, your colored rice with kumkum in your hand. And a flower. Okay, we are just catching up here on tying raksha. Om Yena Badho Baliraja Danavendra Mahabala Tena Twan Bandyami Rakshama Chalamachala. The prevalent color in offering today will be yellow for Sri Ramchandra, and will be interfacing with Bhagwan Ganesh too, as in all pujas, and that will be white flower. I'll remind you all. So we thank, with our yellow flower in hand, we thank Bhagwan for the opportunity. Om Hiranyavarana Subhaga Hiranya Kashpurmahi Tulya Hiranyam Dape Satya Akanunamaha Bolisya Ramachandra Ki Jai. You offer on your altar, and now we take a comfortable seat. So though principally it's Sri Ramchandraji's puja we are doing, we're not going to slight any of the gods. So take some akshat in hand, your colored rice, and bring to mind as many forms, male and female, of Devis and Devatas as you can, as you recognize them, sometimes not individually, but in this Swastivachan, sometimes in the category of gods they belong to, like we'll hear the word Adityas, Vasus, etc. So we'll be incorporating all the deities. Om Swasti no Indro Bridha Sarvaha Swasti no Pusha Vishwavidaha Swasti no Starikashtanimihi Swasti no Brihaspati Dhatu Om Paya Pratibhyam Payoshadhishu Payo Divyantarikshe Payodhaha Payasiti Parisha Santu Mahyam Om Vishnu Ratam Si Vishnu Shnaptrisu Vishnu Shirasi Vishnu Dhruvosi Vaishramasi Vishnu Vedva Om Agni Devita Vato Devita Surya Devita Chandrama Devita Vasavo Devita Rudro Devita Aditya Devita Maruto Devita Vishudeva Devita Braspati Indro Devita Varuno Devita Om Devavu Shanti Nantarikshagum Shanti Pratipi Shanti Rapa Shanti Rushadaya Shanti Vanaspata Shanti Vishudeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sargum Shanti Shanti Deva Shanti Sama Shanti Redhisha Shanti Bhavatu Bolo Sri Syavara Ramachandra Ki Jai. So we offer. So now we get ready for a very important phase or stage known as Sankalp. So with a palm leaf, put a bit of water in it, supari, a piece of kush, a piece of doob, a coin, and a flower. I'll repeat that. Into your palm leaf, a bit of water, a piece of kush, a piece of doob, your rice, your akshat, supari, coin, and flower. This is very important. This authenticates, this sankalp authenticates, while I recite from the patra, that the deities, the grahas especially, the position they occupied at this point in time, we recognize that at the end of our journey in life, this should be counted as one of our noble actions, all because it bears the stamp of a proper sankalp. Om Vishnu Vishnu Nama Paramatmane Shri Purana Purushottamasya Vishnu Ragaya Vartamanasya Brahmane Dviti Praradade Shveta Varaha Kalpe Vaivasvata Manmantari Ashta Vimshatitame Kaliyuge Kalipratam Charne Bhuloke Trinadeshe Mount Lambert Gavi Shri Mahavishnu Pujapti Kshetra Vikramke Baudautar Vartman Kalyuk Samvatsari Utrayani Mahamangal Pre Masa Nam Masutame Chaitra Mase Shukla Pakshe Nowmi Titau Ravi Vasare Punarvasu Nakshatre, Minarashistite Surya, Bud, Rahu, Vrishabhrashistite Guru, Mithunarashistite Mangal, Karkarashistite Chandra, Kanyarashistite Ketu, Kumrashistite Shukla, Shani, Sukarma Yoge, Balau Karni Ivgunushishana Vishishtayam, Shubha Pundatatau, Sakala Shastra Sruti Smiti Pranaptapal Praptikamaha, Shandila Gotrutpano, Mo Gotrutapno, Sharmanasya, Ityari Varnasya, Yajman, Yasya, Yatanam, and now you take your names in your mind. Mamatmana Supatrabandavasya Naugraha, Dwara Graha Krita Rajkrit Sarva Vigna Pira, Nivriti Purvaka, Nerujadirghai Pushti, Dhanadhanya, Samridardham Naugraha Makinayak Shri, Tatrada Utanit Vigdita Sitam Girisharinam Pujanam Chakrishi, Bolis Sri Gajanan Swami Ki Jai, Bolis Yavara Ramachandra Ki Jai. And now the last of our preparatory rites, because what we are doing is protocol for all spiritual undertakings. We are now going to acknowledge Bhagwan Ganesh. That against all challenges, he is Vigna Vinayak. He's the one who helps us to sidestep little challenges, to avoid traffic, or to get a blind, as we say in traffic. That, we might be hustling, but it happened. And we can't take that for granted, that Ganesh Baba allowed us to be here on this most auspicious of days in the entire Hindu calendar. Om Sumukaschaikadantasya Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodarascha Vikatu Vignanasho Vinayakaha Dhumraketurgadadhyaksho Bhalachandro Gajananaha Dwara Shaitani Namani Patichinu Yarapi Vidyarambe Vivahe Cha Praveshe Nirgame Tatha Sangrame Sankati Chaiva Vignasasya Najate Bolo Shri Gajanan Swami Ki Jai. Offer your white flower by Bhagwan Ganesh. So now we are ready for puja. So puja involves 16 offerings. I'll identify as you go along and give you time to perform. And more than that, one will have an understanding, a grasp of what performance of puja is. So the first thing is awahan. We call God with reverence. And this is two parts. So the first part is dhyan. You concentrate on the deity of worship. In this case, Bhagwan Shri Ramchandra. Take a yellow flower and simple mantra. Bij mantra of Shri Ram Chandraji. Repeat after me. Om Shri Ramaya Namaha. Offer. Bole Siyavar Ram Chandra ki Jai. The second part of calling with reverence is sprinkling water and akshat, both on your by your Ganesh and by Shri Ram Chandra. Om Agacha Bhagwan Deva Sthane Chatre Sthurabhava Yavat Pujam Karishyami Tavatam Sanidhubha. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganesh Shayanama Sri Ramayanama Avahiyami Avahanarte Akshatan Samarpyami. Noticing him saying Om for Ganesh Krishna Syam Shaya. That is Bhagwan Ganesh favorite name. For those who are viewing, I am also saying Sri Ganesh, regardless of where you live, we acknowledge Ganesh. So that's your first step in the 16 forms of worship. Next, we want to give God a cleansed seat. So tuck in a piece of kush grass below Ganesh Baba and Shri Ram, sprinkle some water. One person can sprinkle water, and then everybody take their ring finger and cleanse that seat. Om Ramyam Sushobanam Dibyam Sarvasaukya Karam Shubham Asaram Chamaratam Grihana Parameshwara. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganesh Shayanama Sri Ramayanama Asanam Samarpyami. So thirdly, we're going to wash the feet of Bhagwan, both Ganesh Baba and Sri Ram Chandra. Before we so do, take up your multis and pass it around the group and touch their forehead as we put back Sri Ram Chandra, Bhagwan Ganesh on their consecrated seat. So put water, cup your left hand, put water in your left hand, dip it your ring finger, and you're going to wash the feet of Bhagwan. Now I'll be watching around, and I might repeat a mantra or repeat a procedure to make sure everybody gets a chance. So we're not on a race here, but we will execute accordingly. Om Ushno Rakam Nirbalam Cha Sarva Saugandya Samitam Pad Prakshal Nartaya Datam Te Pratigritam. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayanama Padyam Samarpyami. Om Ushno Rakam Nirbalam Cha Sarva Saugandya Samitam Pad Prakshal Narataya Datam Te Pratigrihitam. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayanama Padyam Samarpyami. Our fourth in 16 offerings, we are going to make offerings to Bhagwan. So we do arghya. We give him water to wash hands. And here how we do it, you take a pan leaf, make it like a little cup. You put some water, fragrance, a bit of chandan, and something that has bacteriostatic and bactericidal properties, a supari. When ground, it has those properties. So we are giving Bhagwan a different kind of soap to wash his hands, and of course, with a bouquet, put a flower. So I repeat, into your pan leaf, water, chandan, flower, supari. And when we give the mantra, you'll touch it on his hands, touched by Ganesh and touched by Shri Ram and recited by Shri Ram Chandra. Om Raupya Patristitam Toyam Gandha Pushpa Planutam Sahiranyam Dadam Yargam Gahana Parameshwara. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ramayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Arghyam Samarpyami. So while some are getting through that, we are coming up to the fifth of the 16 offerings. And having washed his hands, we now give him water to quench his thirst. So when I ucharan kare, when I recite this mantra upcoming, you're going to sprinkle water on the hands of Bhagwan. Okay? One person can do that, and the others can touch. And there are certain individual offerings I will point out to you, which you will make. So we give Bhagwan Achmanyam. Om Sarvatirtha Samayuktam Sugandhim Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Maratam Gahana Parameshwara. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayanama Achmanyam Samarpyami. So up comes our sixth and very important offering, where we're going to bathe Bhagwan with Panchamrit. Okay? So the procedure is, while we're getting it together, you put your multi. Okay. Someone kindly assist with some Panchamrit here now. While we are getting ready, so we are going to put the Murti Shri Ram Chandra in a little thali. We're going to pour the Panchamrit. Each person takes a chance and pour a little bit. And after that, that is now Charanamrit. That is poured back into the container from which the Panchamrit was stored, which we'll distribute at the end of puja. So after having done that, then one person can bathe the murti with water and dry up and pass around Sri Ramchandra Murti for everybody to touch there for it before we put him back on his seat. Mind you, that second bath with water is known as Charanodak. If you so desire, keep it with you, carry it to your home, carry it to your office, and sprinkle. Use the thumb and the ring finger of the right hand and sprinkle. That's a blessing that, believe me, is a great protection. So we start with Panchamrit bath. Om Snanam Panchamrite Deva Grihana Purushottama Anatha Nata Sarvargadvana Prantipriya Om Bhurbhasva Sri Ramayana Panchamrit Snanam Samarpyami. Continue bathing. I'll give everybody a chance in the group to bathe. Om Snanam Panchamrite Deva Grihana Purushottama Anatha Nata Sarvargadvana Prantipriya Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Shri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayana Panchamrit Snanam Samarpyami. So you're going to take that Charanamrit and pour it back into your container. And now one person can bathe with water and everybody touch hands. Remember, at the end of puja, partake of that Panchamrit and the prasad which we will subsequently offer. So we bathe with water. Om Snanartham Taurasya Pavitram Tuyamuttamam Tirthebhya Samanitam Gahana Parameshwara Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayana Shuddhotaka Snanam Samarpyami. So just a reminder, we are on the 6th of the 16 offerings. We bathe Bhagwan. So dry up and make sure everybody touch to the forehead before we reseat him. So of course, after bath comes clothing. So that's the 7th offering. We're going to give Bhagwan clothing. His favorite color is yellow, as is the favorite color of Bhagwan Krishna. So when we offer a little piece of cotton wool, put a little bit of haldi in it now to yellow it up. And for Ganesh Baba, you'll offer just a plain cut because his favorite color is white. Having said that, I think some will need to bathe the Ganesh Baba if you didn't with water. Go ahead. Om Snanartham Taurevasya Pavitram Tuyamuttamam Tirthebhya Samanitam Gahana Parameshwara Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Shuddhotaka Snanam Samarpyami. Bolo Sri Gajanan Swami Ki Jai. So up comes our 7th offering of clothing. Om Sarva Bhusharike Saumya Lokalajja Nivarane Mayopaparitubhyam Vasasi Pratigritam Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayana Vastram Samarpyami. I'll repeat. Om Sarva Bhusharike Saumya Lokalajja Nivarane Mayopaparitubhyam Vasasi Pratigritam Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayana Vastram Samarpyami. So we are on the 7th offering. Now there are some auxiliary offerings. So what is coming up now? We're going to offer water in the hands of Bhagwan Krishna, Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra and Sri Ram and Ganesh Baba. That's an auxiliary offering. So we offer in the hands. Om Sarvatirtha Samayutam Sugandhim Nilmalam Jalam Achmaniyam Maritam Gahana Parameshwara Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayana Achmaniyam Samarpyami. Up comes offering number 8. So we are half a day in puja. And this is very important. Everybody take a turn. Then you're going to take your ring finger and bestow chandan on the forehead of Sri Ganesh and Sri Ram. Now usually, pause a sec, usually I will tell you give each other chandan after. But don't do that as yet because we'll do Palana Puja. When satsang is true, you'll get a chance to rock the cradle whereby you'll put chandan on Sri Ram and that is chandan, then family members will bestow to each other. Fine? So you put chandan. Give everybody a chance. With your ring finger, you're going upward. Om Shri Khandam Chandanam Dibyam Gandhadiyam Sumroharam Vilepanam Surashishtra Gahan Parameshwara. Sorry. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayana Chandanam Samarpyami. I repeat. Om Shri Khandam Chandanam Divyam Gandhadayam Sumurhanam Vilipanam Surashishta Grahana Parameshwara. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayana Chandanam Samarpyami. So Chandan is very important. It's being suggested that some of them want to give Chandan teacher. You can so do, but remix for the Palna Puja, all right? So offering number 9, we are happy. This is an auxiliary offering. We are happy to have Bhagwan with us. So we take akshat and sprinkle on the murtis. Just like, when a dulaha comes in a wedding from a wedding party, and the mother-in-law and father-in-law so happy to meet them, they sprinkle akshat. I'm not too sure that 2 years after they will do that. They might want to pelt boulders. But for that time, they want to give akshat as a blessing. So let's give blessing. Om akshatascha surushishta kunkumuktaha sushobhana mayani vitya bhaktya grahana parameshwara. Om bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayanama akshatan samarpyami. So now comes the 9th very important offering. Everybody do this offering. Offer a garland, a flower. So put a white by Ganesh like a flower, like a garland. It would not stay. You can rest it at the base. And then a yellow for Sri Ramchandraji. This is an individual offering, everybody. Om Maladini Sugandhini Maladini Vai Prabho Mayanitani Pushpani Pujartham Pratigrihitam Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayanama Pushpam Samarpyami. I repeat the mantra so everybody gets a chance. Om Maladini Sugandhini Maladini Vai Prabho Mayanitani Pushpani Pujartham Pratigrihitam Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Pushpam Samarpyami. So we pause for a little commercial break because it was remiss of me that Kavita and Aaron, who are videoing us, I tell them they will get a chance to perform the major offerings. So you all could step forward and I'll just fill in the blank by the time being. So there are 9, you all will do chandan and flowers. So this is the 9th offering. In the 16 offerings, the pinnacle of puja is the offering of prasad. And that is offering number 13. And as we are identifying here the steps of puja, you realize there's a protocol. One cannot be, you don't put on clothes and then bathe. You bathe and put, so there's a protocol. These rishis and munis, especially Vasisht Puja Padhati, Guru Vasisht penned the protocol of puja. It's all right if you did it wrong for the part, well, didn't do it as recommended for the part, that's okay. But we have to grow spiritually. We have to evolve. So as we learn things, we put things in place. Yeah? Like we have learned how to calculate now Ram Nowmi. So next time, Ram Nowmi will not done the day before. When you go back to the family people, or even family uncles and aunts, go back to the day when your nephew, niece, or child was born. You didn't run the day before in Mount Hope. It's when the child is born. You can't run to Sri Ram the day before he's born. And to cushion that, you say, well, God is omnipresent. Yeah, God is omnipresent. But we are not celebrating the omnipresent God. We are celebrating his birth. So one has to be, granular about these things. So we are up on offering number 9. We are in offering number 10 now, where we decorate or offering. This is an auxiliary offering, doob grass. We want our health to be like doob grass. That we have dealt with in satsang. So we offer a bit of doob. Om kandat pradohanti purusha purushaspari evanu duve pratanu sastrena shatena cha. Om bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayana Sri Ramayana Durva Kungrang Samarpyami. I repeat the mantra. Om kandat pradohanti purusha purushaspari evanu duve pratanu sastrena shatena cha. Om bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayana Sri Ramayana Durva Kungrang Samarpyami. We now up on offering number 10, which is we decorate Bhagwan, Hardi, Kumkum, Kajal, Sindur. The mantra says that, Om Haridram Kumkumaschaiva Sinduram Kajalanvitam. Those are the 4 powders which give a nice hue to the body. Om Haridam Kunkumaschaiva Sinduram Kajalanatam. Let everybody at least offer Hardi on Sri Ram Chandra. The balance of offerings one person can do. Om Haridam Kunkumaschaiva Sinduram Kajalanatam Saubhagya Drabhamitam Gihana Parameshwara. Om Bhurbhaswa Sri Krishna Syam Sharma Sri Ganeshaya Sri Ramayana Saubhagya Parimal Drabyani Samarpyami. Om Haridram Kunkumaschaiva Sinduram Kajalanatam Saubhagya Drabyamitatam Grahana Parameshwara. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Sharma Sri Ganeshaya Sri Ramayana Saubhagya Parimal Drabyani Samarpyami. Little feedback is a mic making some announcements on the outside. That will be over shortly. So we now up on offer number 11. 11 and 12 are individual offerings, which is incense and arti. So Kavita and Aaron, you all could get ready. One after the other, back to back. So we want to, the main thing we are heading to offer God prasad. But we want to create a nice ambience, a nice fragrance now. And so we wave the agarbati. That's an individual offering, yeah? Om Vanaspati Rasod Bhuto Gandhadayo Gandhottamaha Agra Sarvadevanam Dhupoyam Pratighitam. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Sharma Sri Ganeshaya Dhupam Samarpyami. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Ramayana Dhupam Samarpyami. Gandhadayo Gandhot. Om Vanaspati Rasod Bhuto Gandhadayo Gandhottamaha Agra Sarvadevanam Dhupoyam Pratighitam. Shayama Sri Ramayana Dhupam Samarpyami. So we are getting ready for Arati. Remember, it's 3 circular movements, right? We did a lot of that in Satsang Y3. And don't do the Kokobe Arati, you know, like that. Do proper Arati. Trilokya. The 3 spheres, the 3 cosmos is not there. It's so, so, and so. Trilokya. Om Sajan Chavrati Samyuktam Vahena Yojatam Dipam Gahana Devesha Trilokiti Mirapaha. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshaya Sri Ramayana Dhupam Samarpyami. Om Sajan Chavarti Samiktam Vahena Yojitama Dipam Gahana Devesha Trilokiti Mirapaha. Om Sajan Chavarti Samiktam Vahena Yojitama Dipam Gahana Devesha Trilokiti Mirapaha. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Sharma Sri Ganeshaya Dipam Darshyami. Om Sajan Chavriti Samiktam Vahena Yojitam Dipam Gahana Devesha Trilokiti Mirapaha. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Sharma Sri Ganeshaya Sri Ramayana Dipam Darshyami. I'm repeating so everybody gets a chance now. Om Sajan Chavriti Samiktam Vahena Yojitam Dipam Gahana Devesha Trilokiti Mirapaha. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Sharma Sri Ganeshaya Sri Ramayana Dipam Darshyami. Om Sajan Chavriti Samiktam Vahena Yojitam Dipam Gahana Devesha Trilokiti Mirapaha. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Sharma Sri Ganeshaya Sri Ramayana Dipam Darshyami. Bole Sri Gajanan Swami Ki Jai. Bole Siyawar Ramachandra Ki Jai. Om Sajan Chavriti Samiktam Vahena Yojitam Dipam Gahana Devesha Trilokiti Mirapaha. Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Sharma Sri Ganeshaya Sri Ramayana Dipam Darshyami. So now we reach the pinnacle of puja, 13 of the 16 offerings. We tarry a second. You see how easy puja can be? It's not time consuming. You're not rushing it down, and yet you are accomplishing it, and hopefully we have a grasp of what we are doing. Right? This is an honored guest. This is how an honored guest is treated with this type of protocol. So we are asking, the greatest dinner we'll have is when, or lunch, or brekkie, is when we have God, dine with us. So this is one of the best, this will be the best lunch of the year that we are having, because we partake of that prasad after Bhagwan at the end of puja, and that has been the best meal. So we offer, put a tulsi in it, and as you go to God, we are not beggars. God have 1,000,001 problems to attend to at a second. He doesn't complain. So we're not going to ask for this and ask for that, because we can't separate our needs from our wants. He's Antaryami. He's the indweller of all hearts. He knows what our needs are. He knows which wants to provide. Let's leave it in his hands. But let the mind be at the position that we got the opportunity to feed Bhagwan. Om Annam Chaturvidhasva Durasayai Shadbhi Samritam Bhaksha Bhoja Samaitam Naivedyam Pratigritam Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganesh Shayanama Sri Ramayanama Naivedyam Nivedyami. Bole Sri Gajanan Swami ki jai, Bole Siyawar Ramachandra ki jai. Keep the Tarian position and one person sprinkle the water around. Om Sarvatirtha Samayuktam Sugandhim Nirmalam Jalam Achmaniyam Maratam Grahana Parameshwara Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganesh Shayanama Sri Ramayanama Achmaniyam Samarpyami. So that's our 13th offering. We'll now be getting ready to go to the Havan Kund. So I'll give you a little minute while I continue talking with relevance, and we will then proceed into Havan, right? So after this is the 13th offering. The 14th one, we give something or articles to aid digestion. Now wait a second, I'm just helping someone here with prasad offering. Go ahead. Om Annam Chaturvidhasva Du Rasayhai Shadbhi Samritam Bhaksha Bhojaya Samayuktam Naivedyam Pratigritam Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganesh Shayanama Sri Ramayanama Naivedyam Nivedyami. Bole Sri Gajanan Swami ki jai, Bole Siyawar Ramachandra ki jai. Offer the water. Om Sarvatirtha Samayuktam Sugandhim Nirmalam Jalam Achmaniyam Maratam Gahana Parameshwara Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganesh Shayanama Sri Ramayanama Achmaniyam Samarpyami. So remember, the recommended 3 fingers to use in offerings are the thumb, the middle finger, and the ring finger of the right hand. You'll be joining in Swaha. Okay? That too has been explained in Satsang. That's the best protocol for offering Havan. That has been explained before. So as we were saying, as we still get ready for Havan, the 14th offering that comes after this is we took 8 digestions. So we'll be giving Bhagwan the supari, as we see sometimes in the films, they chew the pan with the supari, crushed. And that'll be given to Bhagwan. That'll be the 14th offering. The 15th offering, we give a little dakshina, a token to what we have earned by God's grace. We present to Bhagwan with a flower. And then the final offering is twofold. We seek forgiveness for little shortcomings, knowingly or unknowingly. And this is known as Pushpanjalim. And it's followed, the second part, by Nirajan, where we make a fond farewell to Bhagwan with a temporary light. That's why we wouldn't use a batti and oil, with camphor, that we will meet and greet Prabhu again during the course of the day. And that will complete the 16 forms of puja. So we're now getting ready for Havan. Certain times we feed the deities according to where they are. So we'll be calling certain directions. Just watch me. East is this way by the Singhasan. West, of course, is opposite. North is towards the ranges. And south, so. Okay? When I call the direction. So, one person sprinkle water around the Havan Kund. Others touch hands. Om Achmaniyam, Punachmaniyam, Shudachmaniyam, Sarpyami. So now we light up. Om Bhurbhasva, Bhurbhasva, Dyaurava, Bhumna, Pratipiva, Vrimnatasyasti, Agnimandamanaya Dite. Now if the Havan shut down, just say hold. But a good idea is offer small amounts. God do bakose, like how he does eat, no? Small amounts, alright?
South.
We go into the south. Om Shri Agnaye Swaha Idam Agnaye Namama.
West.
Om Som Somaya Swaha Idam Somaya Namama.
East.
As you go to the east, bring your ancestors to mind. Om Shri Prajapate Swaha Idam Shri Prajapate Namama.
North.
Om Shri Indraya Swaha Idam Shri Indraya Namama.
Center.
Om Gam Ganapataye.
You could use laddu if you have for these few offerings till we say switch.
If not, you could use your normal prasad. Om Gam Ganapataye Swaha. Om Shri Brahmanaspataye Swaha. Om Shri Pushti Mataye Swaha. Om Shri Ganeshaya Swaha. Om Shri Vidhidibhyay Swaha. Om Shri Siddhidibhyay Swaha.
North.
Om Shri Krishna Syamshaya Swaha.
Northeast.
Om Shri Ekadantaya Swaha.
East.
Om Shri Lambodharaya Swaha.
Southeast.
Om Shri Vigna Vinayakaya Swaha.
South.
Om Shri Vigneshaya Swaha.
Southwest.
Om Shri Gajananaya Swaha.
West.
Om Shri Parvati Putraya Swaha.
Northwest.
Om Shri Shankaratmajaya Swaha.
Center.
Om Shri Hiram Devaya Swaha. Om Shri Ganadhipataye Swaha. Om Shri Shubhkaran Devaya Swaha.
You're doing 5 offerings with laddu, going from left to right across the heart.
Laddu or prasad. Om Shri Annamaya Devaya Swaha. Om Shri Pranamaya Devaya Swaha. Om Shri Manomaya Devaya Swaha. Om Shri Vijnanamaya Devaya Swaha. Om Shri Anandamaya Devaya Swaha.
Could we read to normal parasad now? Take Guru form in mind.
Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Om Shri Gurave Swaha.
Take Guru mantra.
Om Shri Gurave Swaha. Om Shri Dattatreya Mahagurave Swaha.
So for the Ish, those who have male guardian angels, take that now.
Om Shri Ishtadevaya Swaha.
For those who have female Isht,
Om Shri Ishtadevya Swaha. Om Shri Shivaya Swaha.
northeast,
Om Shri Ishanaya Swaha.
east,
Om Shri Tat Purushaya Swaha.
south,
Om Shri Aghoraya Swaha.
west,
Om Shri Vamdevaya Swaha.
center,
Om Shri Sadyojataya Swaha. Om Shri Pashupataye Swaha. Om Shri Sharvaya Swaha. Om Shri Bhimaya Swaha.
south,
Om Shri Rudrabhyah Swaha.
west,
Om Shri Mahadevaya Swaha.
west,
Om Shri Bhavaya Swaha.
northwest,
Om Shri Ugraya Swaha.
Center.
Om Hrim Dum Durgayai Swaha. Om Shri Gauri Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Kali Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Rohini Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Kali, Om Shri Matang, Om Shri Mangal Chandi Dibhyai Swaha. Om Shri Parvati Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Kalyani Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Uma Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Chambhavi Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Kshimankri Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Chandika Matayai Swaha. Om Namo Narayanaya Swaha. Om Shri Shalagram Devaya Swaha. Om Shri Satyanarayan Swami Swaha. Om Shri Kamal Vasanyai Swaha. Om Shri Dakshina Dibhyai Swaha. Om Shri Surabhi Matayai Swaha. Om Hrim Shrim Klim Vasudhayai Swaha.
east,
Om Shri Aditi Matayai Swaha.
northeast,
Om Shri Sampati Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Ganga Matayai Swaha. Om Hrim Shrim Klim Swadha Dibhyai Swaha. Om Hrim Shrim Vanhi Jayayai Divyai Swaha. Om Dhum Dhum Dhumavati Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Kamala Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Vidhate Swaha.
to your
Om
left,
Shri Hrim Saraswatyai Swaha.
to your right,
Om Shri Savitri Matayai Swaha.
facing you,
Om Shri Gayatri Matayai Swaha.
to your left,
Om Shri Matangi Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Kartikaya Swami Swaha. Om Hrim Shashti Dibhyai Swaha. Om Chitri East. Om Gunihi Suryaya Swaha. Om Shri Dhata Adityaya Swaha. Om Shri Pushkarakshaya Swaha. Om Shri Kritastri Apsarayai Swaha.
North.
Om Shri Ratkrit Yakshaya Swaha. Om Shri Tumbru Gandharvaya Swaha. Om Shri Pulast Munaye Swaha. Om Shri Balkilya Rishibhyah Swaha.
Northeast.
Om Vachaspati Pava Savrishnagam Shubhyam Gavasti Putah Devo Devebhya Pavasayisham Bhogasi Swaha.
Northeast.
Om Kem Ketave Swaha.
Southeast.
Om Sham Shukraya Swaha.
South.
Om Angangarakaya Swaha.
Southwest.
Om Ram Rahave Swaha.
West.
Om Sham Shanaishtraya Swaha.
Northwest.
Om Som Sumaya Swaha.
Northwest.
Om Shri Rohini Matayai Swaha.
North.
Om Bum Buddhaya Swaha. Om Shri Dastikpal Devtabhyah Swaha.
North.
Om Shri Kuver Devaya Swaha.
Northwest.
Om Shri Vayave Swaha.
West.
Om Shri Varunaya Swaha.
Southwest.
Om Shri Niriti Devaya Swaha.
South.
Om Shri Yamaya Swaha.
Center.
Om Shri Yamuna. Om Shri
Anantaya.
Anantaya Swaha.
South.
Om Shri Yamuna Divyai Swaha.
East.
Om Shri Sarva Aditya Devtabhyah Swaha.
South.
Om Shri Ekarasha Rudribhyah Swaha.
South.
Om Shri Ahir Buddhah Rudraya Swaha.
North.
Om Shri Vasubhyah Swaha.
North.
Om Shri Dhruv Balakaya Swaha.
East.
Om Shri Ashwini Kumarabhyam Swaha.
Northeast.
Om Shri Devaya Swaha.
East.
Om Shri Daksh Prajapate Swaha.
East.
Om Shri Prasuti Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Manasa Devyai Swaha.
Northwest.
Om Shri Swasti Devyai Swaha.
Northwest.
Om Shri Maru Devtabhyah Swaha. Om Shri Pachetas Devtabhyah Swaha. Om Shri Kali Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Vaivaswat Manave Swaha. Om Shri Kal Bhairavaya Swaha. Om Shri Veerbhadraya Swaha. Om Shri Nandishwaraya Swaha. Om Shri Tulsi Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Vishwadevtabhyah Swaha. Om Shri Bhrigurishaye Swaha. Om Shri Narad Mune Swaha. Om Shri Kashyap Atri Vasisht Vishwamitra Bharadwaj Jamdagni Gautam Rishibhyah Swaha. Om Shri Ahilya Draupadi Tara Kunti Mandodari Matabhyah Swaha.
Southwest.
Om Shri Tulsi Dasaya Swaha. Om Shri Valmiki Munaye Swaha. Om Shri Yagyavalk Munaye Swaha. Om Shri Kak Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Garud Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Saunakari Rishibhyah Swaha. Om Shri Sut Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Shradev Munaye Swaha. Om Shri Dronacharya Mahagurave Swaha. Om Shri Kripacharya Mahagurave Swaha. Om Shri Angiras Rishaye Swaha. Om Shri Chavan Rishaye Swaha. Om Shri Sukanya Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Matang Rishaye Swaha. Om Shri Karan Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Yudhishthir Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Arjun Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Bhim Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Nakul Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Sahadev Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Ashwatthama Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Bali Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Markandeya Rishaye Swaha. Om Shri Agast Munaye Swaha. Om Shri Govardhan Brahmanaya Swaha. Om Shri Sarva Devtabhyah Swaha. Om Shri Sarva Devibhyah Swaha. Om Shri Sthan Devtabhyah Swaha. Om Shri Sthan Devibhyah Swaha. Om Shri Gram Devtabhyah Swaha. Om Shri Gram Devibhyah Swaha. Om Shri Desh Devtabhyah Swaha. Om Shri Desh Devibhyah Swaha. Om Shri Shandilya Brahmanaya Swaha. Left to right in your Havan Kund.
If you have fig, you could offer it now.
We are offering to Hanuman Baba. Om Shri Vara Bhagwanaya Swaha. Om Shri Narsim Bhagwanaya Swaha. Om Shri Kesari Kisuraya Swaha. Om Shri Garud Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Hayagriv Bhagwanaya Swaha. Gayatri. Om Bhurbhaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yonah prachodayat Swaha. Om Shri Satyasai Shwaraya Swaha. Om Shri Dhanvantari Bhagwanaya Swaha. Om Shri Buddh Bhagwanaya Swaha. Om Shri Parshuram Bhagwanaya Swaha. Om Shri Vyas Bhagwanaya Swaha. To the north, Om Shri Mool Prakriti Ishwari Matayai Swaha.
South.
Om Shri Raseshwari Matayai Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Om Shri Shatrugna Maharajaya Swaha. Om Shri Lakshmanaya Swaha. Om Shri Urmila Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Bharat Maharajaya Swaha. Om Janak Nandanyai Vidmahe Bhumi Jananyai Dhimahi Tanno Sita Prachodayat. Om Shri Vaidehi Matayai Swaha. Om Ram Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sastranam Tattulyam Ram Ram Varanane. Om Shri Ramaya Swaha. Om Shri Sumitra Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Kaikeyi Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Kaushalya Matayai Swaha. Om Shri Dasrat Maharajaya Swaha. So that completes Havan. One person sprinkle water 3 times around the Havan Kund, and then we resume puja. If you all have ghee, just a little bit. All right, who don't have ghee, make 11 small offerings of your prasad. And I will say the mantra, you repeat it, just 11 offerings, and then we do 10 more times. Will do. Just some house announcements. When we finish Havan, there's a half a barrel, I think by the gate. You all can carefully take your Havan Kund and empty it there to reduce the smoke now, so it will complete stages 14, 15 and 16 in Havan, in Puja. So I think in about 10 minutes we'll do the wrap. We'll have a short recess and get ready for bhajan and satsang. That's 9. So we are getting, the mantra is Om Shri Ramaya Swaha. Short mantra. We're doing 11 times, right? Just one sec. Just getting a little problems with the camphor here. You know, we get an inferior brand of camphor. Right, don't worry. Yeah. Om Shri Ramaya Swaha. 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 Now one person can sprinkle water around the Havan Kund. Om Achmaniyam Punachmaniyam Sharachmaniyam Samarpyami. As you say carefully, you can take it and empty it out there, and we'll resume puja in a minute. In the meantime, just some filler information. So in Havan, we address sometimes unaware every possible deity in such a structured Havan that looks after, that takes care of us, that sustains us. For instance, you would have heard Om Shri Standev Tabhya Swaha, Om Shri Standevibhya Swaha. That is all the places of noble interest, home, work, school, whatever, that the deities that are the guardians of those areas we acknowledge them with an oblation. We take, for instance, the name of the revered sages and saints, because they too carry a certain prabhav, a certain power, a certain prowess for our daily benefit. Like, for instance, we take the name of Bhrigu, that noble son of Brahma, who can forestall untimely death. And that has been shown, demonstrated in the Puranas. So we take his name with reverence for the unexpected, and we say, Om Shri Bhrigu Rishaye Namaha. So structured Havan is very, very potent, and it's good to have granted the opportunity to participate in same. So, as I point you to the upcoming offering, you can get ready. As we still await those who are emptying the Havan Kund, where we're going to offer a little tambul for Bhagwan and the deities to aid digestion. So you'll get a supari ready, fold it up in a pan leaf. We'll be getting that ready. And a suggestion for the 15th offering, just Dakshina. Tanti here and crew does a noble job in upkeeping this temple. Hence we can sit and perform puja and satsang. So I suggest that which you give, somebody in the ending collect it up, and that will donate onto the temple. Right? I think the Minister of Finance, Devika, could probably take care of that. Right? She will collect up, and so will donate that onto the temple. Tanti doesn't make any requisition and so forth, but I think it's a humane thing for us to do. You know? So it'll be a supari in pan leaf, and then we go into dakshina with a flower, and then we do the wrap. I overheard one of the Chela Swami want to give a check, but it doesn't work so. What color flower? Dakshina? Blue will be fine. I just pointing you to where we're going. It's Tambul first. I just tell you what to expect. Just in anticipation, as we give chance for the others to empty their Havan Kund. Yeah, just a supari and a pan leaf.
And just wrap it up like a little fast.
Now for the Devis, when we're doing Devi Puja, it's different. You put clove, elaichi, which is cardamom, grains of camphor, you fold it up and you put kasturi and flower for different reasons. But what I can point you to, that clove, cardamom, and camphor all have volatile oils. So when the rishis talk about aiding digestion, it fit within the construct of medicine. Puja is not offer this and offer that. There's a great science behind it. Some of which we are still delving into for those wise minds who created same. So I see we are already through with the Havan now. So we'll get ready for the Tambul offering. Om Pugi Palam Mahadibyam Dagavali Dalalitam Illadi Chuna Samtam Tambulam Pratigritam Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayanama Tambulam Samarpyami. Bole Sri Gajanan Swami Ki Jai. Bole Sri Saraswati Mata Ki Jai. Bole Sri Gajanan Swami Ki Jai. Bole Siyawara Ramachandra Ki. So now we come to the penultimate offering. Take a dakshina, flower, and as I say, we offer it the tambul, offer it by the murti. And so we offer a token dakshina with a little flower. Om Hiranya Garbha Garbhastam Hema Bija Vibhava Soho Ananta Punya Paladamata Shanti Prachame Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayanama Sri Ganeshayanama Sri Ramayana Pushpam Dakshinam Samarpyami. And now we come to the final, the 16th offering, which is twofold. So first, Pushpanjalim. Pushpa is flower, Anjali is the hand. So take a white and a yellow flower. As whatever our shortcomings, knowingly or unknowingly, we seek out the forgiveness of Bhagwan. Om Janami Pujanam Maham Nahi Shast. Hold on, some of you all. Leave the other things for the after. Get ready with Pushpanjalim. Flower in hand. Right? So we're going to thank Bhagwan for the opportunity that so we get ready to offer Pushpanjalim, flower in hand. And as I say, the next part of it is Nirajan, whereby we'll be putting a piece of camphor, that's the final, a piece of camphor into a container, so keep an eye on that. And we'll wave it 3 times and go around, circumambulate once, at least once. Om Janami Pujanam Maham Nahi Shastra Siddhi Shakti State Parichita Mama Sarvtascha Pushpanjali Nunama Charanjose Sanite Parigrahana Resolushana Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shanama Sri Ganeshayama Pushpanjalim Samarpyami Om Bhurbhasva Sri Ramayana Pushpanjalim Samarpyami. So offered by a Ganesh Baba, by Sri Ram Chandra. Bow and get your camphor ready to make your little arati and your circumambulation, your pradakshina as they call it. And that's when you bid a fond, temporary farewell to Bhagwan. So I'll repeat while those getting ready, right? Om Aratil Parthagum Rajaha Pitapradhamabihi Devahasragum Sibrihiti Vitasasatvaisham Vatate Tamaha Om Yani Kani Chapa Pani Janmatkatani Cha Tani Sarvani Nashanti Padakshana Pare Pare Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayama Sri Ganesh Shayama Sri Ramayama Padakshanam Samarpyami. Om Maratri Parthagum Rajaha Pitapradamabihi Devahasragum Sibrihiti Vitasasatvaisham Vatsate Tamaha Om Yani Kani Chapa Pani Janmatkitani Cha Tani Sarvani Nashanti Padakshana Pare Pare Om Bhurbhasva Sri Krishna Syam Shayama Sri Ganesh Shayama Sri Ramayana Padakshanam Samarpyami. So you can rest your camphor down, little out, right? Going around once is sufficient. I know some of you all suffer with the vertigo, so we don't want any casualties here. Vertigo sufferers, I'm just making a little funny. I ain't trying to demonize you. So with flower in hand, our final prayer, white and yellow. When you finish, children do parents' arati, wives, whether you live in good or not, do your husband arati now. Okay? And so we'll take a short recess and be up bhajan and kirtan. Om Avahanam na janami tavarachanam pujam chaiva janami kshamasva parameshwara gatam papam gatam duhukam gatam daridmevacha agata sukha sampatihi punyaham tanadarshanat anyatha shran nastitameva shranamama tasmat karyana bhamana rakshamam parameshwara. Om tumeva mata chapita tumeva bandhuscha sakha tumeva vidya dravinam tumeva sarvam mama deva deva. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bolo Shri Gajanan Swami ki jai. Bolo Shri Saraswati Mata ki jai. Bolo Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai. Umapati Mahadev ki jai. Paunaputra Hanuman ki jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Siyavar Ramachandra ki jai. So we'll regroup in 15 minutes. Thank you very much.
Sound check. Sound check 1, 2.
Sound check 1, 2, 3. LSG playing GT for those who are interested.
भज मन राम भज मन बावड़े भज राम भज मन राम भज मन राम भज मन बावड़े Just a sound check. Tvameva Vidyalaya Twamiva Sarva Mama Deva Deva Mama Deva Deva Mama Deva Deva Mama Deva Tvameva sarva, Tvameva sarva, Mama Deva Deva, Mama Deva Deva, Mama Deva Deva, Mama Deva, Govinda, Sukh ki samsarthi, dukh mein na koi, sukh ki samsarthi, dukh mein na साझा दूजान पार की तू माती बाकी पार की तू माती बाकी मन के भीतर क्यों ना जाके उजले तन पर मान दिया उजले तन पर मान किया मन की मान जोई सुख के सब साथी दुख में न कोई मेरे राम तेरा नाम एक साचा तू जान होई सुख के सब साथी दुख में न कोई मेरे राम तेरा नाम एक साचा तू जान होई
एक बार बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। ब्राह्मण समाज और ब्राह्मण समाज में पंडित लोग, साधु सद्वाइन, प्रिय मित्र, आपको मैं स्वागत करता हूँ। On behalf of SVV Sanatan Vidwad Vidyalaya, we wish to extend a very warm and hospitable welcome to everyone who has grasped the opportunity to participate in Shree Nowmi celebrations. God's blessings to you. Before we proceed into Katha, just an indication, we will be terminating a little before 12 and give everyone a chance to perform Palana Puja, and lunch will be served right after it. But it will be in this season of politics, remiss of me, in our presence, we have the, people say the prospective, I say the representative for St. Joseph Arangwes, Mr. Devish Maharaj, whom we should hear a few words from. Dev?
Sitaram Pandit, thank you for this opportunity to say a few words. You've caught me off guard there, but the battle is on, brothers and sisters. The battle is on. Yesterday we had a wonderful launch of our candidates at the Center of Excellence. And I want to tell you something. There is a mood sweeping this country right now where people are crying out for change. And more people are coming out in support of this change. This is my constituency right here. I have walked, I have met the residents of this home, and I have spoken to almost every resident in this area of Mount Lambert. And the response has been extraordinary. From Arangwes to Sawa Hill, to St. Joseph, to Valsayn, to East Grove, I am picking up a mood, a shift in people who are demanding better, who want better. So I took this opportunity this morning when Pandit extended it. I mean, what a better time in my life to come and listen to the glories of Sri Ram, to imbibe those teachings, because Sri Ram himself fought for justice. He fought against injustice. and he fought for what was right. And that has been my mantra, the plank of my campaign, to do and to fight what is right and to represent the people of Arangua St. Joseph and by extension, Trinidad and Tobago. So, those of you who are part of this community and part of this constituency, I take this opportunity to request of you your support. And those who are not, please support the winning team. The team that demands change, the team that is going to do better for Trinidad and Tobago. You know who it is. I will not say the name here right now. Thank you, Pandit, for your kind words and the opportunity.
Thank you very much, MP in waiting. केवल भगवान की कृपा से, केवल गुरु की कृपा से रामायण कथा को मैं वर्णन कर सकता हूँ। हे गुरुदेव, आपके चरणों को बारह बार मैं प्रशंसा करता हूँ, आपके चरणों को बारह बार मैं वंदना करता हूँ। First and foremost, I pay unreserved respects to the feet of my gurus. In the first instance, my Diksha Guru, Pandit Mahesh Maharaj, who took his time and patience and effort, voluntary effort, to teach me or to attempt to teach me so that I may learn every single facet of Ramayana composition. To him, I'm eternally grateful. I hasten to the feet of my Vidya Guru, Pandit Sri Ram Jadunanand Misra, who complemented that which my Guru, the core teachings of my Guru. To him, I pay my respects. On behalf of the school, as I say, we welcome you. We embrace you for grasping this opportunity, because it is indeed a rare opportunity to join in celebration of Shree Ram Nowmi. Before we proceed into Katha, let me extend my blessings to, first of all, the streamers, Vision 2 photo and video production, Kavita Ramcharitan and Aaron. God's blessings to you for doing a wonderful and continuing to do a wonderful job. And my group, singer, my daughter Swasti on the keyboard, Kriya, my other daughter, on the dhantal, my godbrother Rick, on the dholak, Vernish Tigger Singh. Well, he don't need an introduction. You might have to introduce me in a sabha, not he. But that's all because of her efforts and skills. And Madhuri Dixit, oh, is my wife, sorry. I got mistaken for a while. Welcome to one and all. So, Arti Kasa, we will begin with an Arti and then we'll close with an invocation. So, I invite you, if you're in a position to stand as we join in Arti. Arati Shri Rama सब ग्रंथन कोरस तन मन धरा संतन को सर्वस
सारांश सम्मत समेकी आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरत कलित ललित सियबी की
कलिमल हरणी विषय रसपीकी सुभग सिंगार मुक्ति युवती की हर निरोग भवमूरियमी की
साथ माथ सब विधि तुलसी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरत कलित ललित सियबी की
बोलो रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम
बोलो रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम
जय जय शिव शिव जानकी राम जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम बोलो
जय जय शिव शिव जानकी राम जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम बोलो रघुपति राम राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम बोलो रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम बोलो पतित पावन सीताराम बोलो पतित पावन सीताराम
बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की अपने आसन पर बैठिए please take your respective seats as we join in invocation so that the blessings of the celestials will make this hour of 50 minutes well worth it. So I ask you to bring the God of your liking and understanding to your mind as we join in invocation. Om Yam Brahma Vedanta Vido Vedanti Param Pradhanam Purusham Tathanye Vishvorgate Karanam Ishwaram Va Tasmai Namo Vigna Vinashanaya Om Pratibham Satsabhayam Cha Vicharaksha-matam Shubham Luptam Sarvam Daiva Yogan Navi Bhutam Punah Kuru Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Para Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Om Kundaindudara Gaura Sundaram Ambikapatim Abhishta Siddhidham Karunika Kalakanjalochanam Nowmi Shankanam Anagamochanam Om Hanumanjani Sunur Vayuputro Mahabala Rameshta Phalgun Sakah Pingaksho Amita Vikramaha Udari Kramanaschaiva Sita Shoka Vinashinaha Lakshmana Pranadata Cha Dasha Grivasya Darapaha Om Ram Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranam Tattulyam Ramanam Varanani. We are in the presence of the Panchmukhi Shiv Bhagwan, a consecrated Shiv Bhagwan. So I ask you, as we make this 8-couplet invocation to Bhagwan Krishna, to stabilize the mind and bring him to the mind, because this text, Ramayana, came from his Manas Charitra, from inside of Shiv Bhagwan. So we thank him, we give glory to him, that we have this opportunity to listen to the glories of Ram. Namami Shamishana Nirvana Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Veda Surupam Ajam Nirgunam Nirvikalpam Niriham Chirakasham Akashavasam Bhajayam Nirakaro Omkara Moolam Turiyam Giragyana Gotitam Isham Girisham Karala Mahakala Kalam Kripalam Gunagar Samsara Param Natuham तुषारादृशं काशगौरं गम्भीरं मनोभूतकोटिप्रभा श्रीशरीरं स्फुरन्मौलिकल्लोलिनी चारुगङ्गा लसद्बालबालेन्दुकण्ठे भुजङ्गा चलत्कुन्दलं शुभ्रनेत्रं विशालं प्रसन्नाननं नीलकण्ठं दयालुं मृगार्षिचर्माम्बरं मुन्दमालं प्रियं शङ्करं सर्वनाथं भजामि प्रचण्डं प्रकृष्टं प्रगल्भं परेशम् अखण्डं अजं भानुकोटिप्रकाशं त्रयशूलनिर्मूलनं शूलपाणिं भजेऽहं भवानीपतिं भावगम्यम् कलातीतकल्याणकल्पान्तकारी सदा सजनानन्ददाता पुरारी चिदानन्दसन्दोह मोहापहारी प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो मन्मतारी न यावत् मानाथ पादारविन्दं भजन्ति ह लोके परे वानराणां न तावत् सुखं शान्ति सन्तापनाशं प्रसीद प्रभो सर्वभूतादिवासं न जानामि योगं जपमेव पूजां न तोऽहं सदा सर्वदा सम्भूतुभ्यं जराजन्म दुःखौदताप्यं मानं प्रभो पाहि आपं नमामीश शम्भो भज राम भज मन राम भज मन राम भज मन बावरे श्री कृष्ण भज मन कृष्ण भज मन कृष्ण भज मन बावरे एक बार बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की जय. We do not have the time to go at length to the deep explanations of this Ashtaka. Arguably, in scholarly quarters, the most potent invocation, those 8 couplets of Bhagwan Shiva. We touch on a point. Chalat kundalam shubhranetam vishalam. The ears of Bhagwan Shiva are adorned with 2 snakes, 2 serpents, Kambal and Ashwatar. What's the relevance of that? Is it just knowing history? Kambal and Ashwatar, for 2 months, 1 month each in an entire year, each year for 2 months, they sit on the chariot of Bhagwan Vishnu Narine. They form the reins of the horses that lead the chariot of Vishnu Narine Swami. So by extension, if we want to woo Vishnu Narine Swami to get his chariot to come in our direction, then we have to touch base with Kambal and Ashwatar, and further to that, Namami Shamishana Nirvana Rupam. The sun is responsible for life, whether it's plant or human life, creatures. And if we can get the tacit approval of the sun, by extension via the reins of the sun, of the horses of the sun, then we have a good chance to better this life. We move into Katha. It is the birth of Sri Ramchandra. I am minded to think, we don't repeat in SVV, that we did the Janma Katha sometime in Satsang. So we go, what happened after the Janma, as we hear in double Doha.
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Vipradhenu sura santahita leena manuja avatar nirjati chanir metatanu maya guna gopal tava nandi mukha shar kari जात कर्म सब कीन्ह आतक धेनु सनमणि नृप विप्रन्न कहदीन.
Hare Rama Rama
asked, why didn't Bhagwan stay in the upper world, in the upper sphere, and wave his magic wand and rectify all that had to be rectified? Why did he have to come on earth, embody himself? And Tulsidas answers, Vipradhenu surasanta hita leen hamanuja autar. For the sake of the Brahmin, we normally say Brahmin, we mean the Dwij, the twice born. That Brahman who born a Brahman has realized himself, has taken Janevu, and now begin to be the Purohit or carry the message of Bhagwan. That's the type of Brahman we're talking about. And more so if he's lettered. Not you learn 2 or 3 mantra because your father teach you 2 mantra and you become Pandit. They don't work so. The Vipra, the one who is matriculated, God comes to him. Vipra Dhenu, the custodian of Dharma, God comes to him. Dhenu, for the sake of the cows, Bhagwan takes avatar. Sur, for the sake of the Devatas, when they are on luxurious, by Ravan comes, etc., he comes. And the Sant, for the sake of the holy people, the pious, the flag bearers of Dharma in the absence of an avatar, God comes for these 4 reasons. And when he comes, Leen Hamanuja avatar, he didn't come because he was propelled by a cause. He comes out of sheer love for these that who have been listed here. Nija Icha Nirmitanu Maya Gun Gopad. And when he comes on earth, he is bereft of Maya. He doesn't get tied up in Maya. And we say, well, that sounds honky-dory. Well, so too, he came to teach us too not to get involved in Maya. Maya, it sounds morbid. Let me talk about death. When someone passes on, well, after much haunting and digging, we get across the point that you don't cremate a body in Panchak, which is roughly 5 days, because the nakshatras of those 27 nakshatras that govern time got a shrap. And if you so do that, that person will have a wandering soul, and you have to take a crane to pull that out. So we understand that, hopefully. But there's further that you don't just go burn somebody like that, because Belgroves or Kiarani have a space. Wait. For one, don't ever burn on a Saturday. That is Hindu law, and there's a reason for that. We had time to discuss that. Meet me outside and we'll talk about it. But that's the law, not on a Saturday. That's sinister Rahu Ketu. Don't burn on your Janma Nakshatra, your birth constellation. So one has to know what your birth constellation is before you burn. There are certain other nakshatras that burning doesn't take place. On the 4th, 8th, and 12th phase of the moon, you don't burn somebody. The reason being, you're playing Russian roulette. That soul will not have peace. And Ma and Pa, who went tremendous sacrifices, forget the 9 months, that's a kata by itself. They grew up to be us, and they were always vigilant with our welfare. And I mean is one day we ask you to do the correct thing, you do it. That is Maya. That is Maya. Further to that, there are certain yoga, certain union of the sun and the moon's position you don't burn in. We mentioned Parigha, but Parigha, Baba, that is not Shulgan. Yes, the first half of Parigha is unfit for cremation. And then there's, of course, the current known as Vishti, which is Governor Yama. So there are certain specific, we are no Pandit, but that's why you have a Pandit for. You're going to buy a piece of land, you call the lawyer and say, make sure, the lawyer goes send the clerk to make sure that piece of land is free from encumbrances. So for every gain in life, you're doing research, but when it comes to God, Bab's my Pandit didn't tell me, well, go and research your Pandit, man. That's my fault, go research. But the point is, we have to be meticulous about when we dispose of the one who has passed on, who has cared for us, who we profess to have love for. If we don't do that, then we're inside a Maya. Inside a Maya. So when Bhagwan comes, he comes taking charge of Maya, but he also teaches us to take charge of Maya. Hold it by the horns and deal with it. The Chaupai goes on, the Doha goes on. Tabanandi Mukhashrar Kari Jata Karma Sabakinha. So a Hindu has 16 rites of passage. The first one, When I say rites of passage, there is a ceremony with attendant conduct, responsibility to family and society that is given in each of these samskars. So you're not born as X or Y. You're born as X or Y, but you have a duty and responsibility to family and community. And the first sanskar of these 16 is Garbhodhan. When a child is conceived, the father can be under the influence of punching. It don't work so. Then that child done has a negative setback. Then, in some dynasty where there are pure boys or pure girls and they want a change of thing, in the first trimester, there's called Pum Saman Sanskar. There is a method you could use to change the gender of the child, to fix the gender of the child. Then the third sanskar is Siman Sanskar. When you're pregnant, leading up to delivery, sit in satsang. You know, Lego kum kum bhagya and little, but watch up the Ramayana. Then the fourth sanskar, that's the hour of birth. It's called Jatkaram Sanskar, where the father, you know, he will feed, or first meal of the child is some honey and a touch of ghee on the tongue. The father does that with a piece of gold. And then he makes the promise that I'll always be there for you. So that's the fourth sanskar. We ain't named the child yet, eh? Sri Ram was not named as yet, but these four things were done. Then Dasrat performed Nandi Mukh Shrar. He waited until the new moon after the birth. And just like how we just perform Shrar, Nandi Mukh Shrar addresses up to 9 generations back. Now, we may not know 9 generations back. We may know maybe father or grandfather, as the case may be. And so there is a way, a method to perform that Shrar. And the ones that you don't know, you transfer the ceremony onto the kush grass and you begin to call your names accordingly. Why? Why did Dashrath perform Nandi Mukh Shrar? Why we should perform Nandi Mukh Shrar when a child is born? Because the rich traditions of the dynasty, that child owes a responsibility to. So you know you're coming to the world and you do as you want in the places you want. Then don't call yourself a Hindu. Because my God, our God, said you have to acknowledge the rich traditions of a dynasty as you go forward in life. And so Dashrath took the time off. And this is God in his home, Ram Chandraji. Dashrath took the time off that you too, God, have to follow the rich traditions of the dynasty. And so said, so done. Who was Raghu to Ram? Ramachandra Raghuvira. We say it. Who is Raghu to Ram? Ram's father was Dashrath. Dashrath's father was Aj. So that is Ram's grandfather was Aj. Aj's father was Raghu. So Ram's great-grandfather was Raghu. And Raghu got the gift of immortality. But he became tired of that. He said, this thing too dull. So Vishnu Bhagwan, the sustainer who gave him, granted that boon, he says, you're a good soul. And in your dynasty will come Bhagwan Ram. And if your name's cropped up in referring to him, if you say Raghuvir, or from the Raghu Vansh, or the Raghu Kul, if you call the name Raghu when referring to Ram, then your immortality will continue, and Ram, or the call of that name Ram from Raghu, will be twice blessed. So God had a responsibility to parampara, to dynasty and tradition. So we too have to take a page out of that book as we hear further in Chaupai.
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jaya, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jaya, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jaya, Jai Ram.
Pariyati छावर करही पार Nari Arati in Chavari Karahi, all the denizens of Ayodhya came and they performed his arati and bestowed gifts upon him. Bar Bar Shishu Charan Karaparahi, and not only that, they bowed down the feet of this babe and took his blessings. Maghada Sult Bandi Ganagayak, and minstrels and all the singers and poets and composers created lines, holy lines, that described and glorified God. Pavana Yash Gavahi Raghunayak. And Tulsidas rubbed the salt in the wound. What do you call him here? Raghunayak. That was not only Ram, that was the leader of that dynasty, Raghu. And so this was a scenario, great ecstasy, enjoyment, and celebration when God was born. Keyword, what did the composers and minstrels spend their time doing? They composed Gun Gayak. They compose the qualities that this child is about to display. We might ask the question, he now born, how them know that? Because all the citizens of Ayodhya were devatas who asked, beseeched, implored God for an opportunity to be with him, physically be with him. And so when all the paths were ruled out, or were occupied, were taken, they said, well, we're settling for just being a citizen of Ayodhya, So they understand that this was the divine incarnation. And as we say, Ramayana is not only about singing the praises, about watching the template left by Bhagwan. We could quickly touch on the 6 qualities that are recommended in our character build. We can touch on 3 here that Ram Chandali displayed. The first one is he was going to be crown prince. And what happened? He became a yati, a forest dweller, because of the request of Kaikeyi. What was Ram's position? Was he ruffled? Did he throw a tantrum? From a position of sovereignty to now a forest dweller. But he showed composure. Pita Deenha Mohikanana Raju. When Kaushalya says, well, where are you going? He said, man, look, my father wanted to be king of Ayodhya. But Pita Deenha Mohi, but the vast, there's a great expanse of land out there in the forest. He making me king of there. So sometimes when things ain't go too right, see the positive side of it. And that is known as sama. Control. That's one of the character build. Control regardless of circumstances. Then you have nishpaksh, or what you call uprati. Another characteristics in a character build. Show impartiality. If somebody, we had a run-in with somebody else's life, you go all he in the crow, you hold the poor wife in the crow, be she didn't do nothing. You hold the children in the crow. That is how we does behave. Then don't follow Ramayana. Don't follow Sanatan Dharma. Because Ram didn't behave like that. Behave like that. Point. Let me endorse that. Ram destroyed Bali. Who was Angad? Angad was Bali's son. What did Ram do? He tell Lakshman, go into Kiskindha. The rightful heir to the throne is Bali's younger brother Sugriv, enthroned him. But promise me that you make Angad Rajkumar. You think Ram say, done with he, burn he, I go leave him out? No, there was no bias. If we have the differences, don't carry it further than that. Then don't follow Sanatan Dharma. So this was another of the qualities that Shree Ram Chandraji displayed. And of course, we had Dhamma, which is self-restraint. Then we have Sama, which is, you don't get overawed by a situation. Ram was supposed to be a prince regent. He became a forest dweller. What happened? In that forest dweller garb, he won over 2 kingdoms. He destroyed Bali, and so really and truly being the victor, Kiskindha was his. But he said no. He gave it to Sugriv. Then he destroyed Ravan. When Lanka was supposed to be his, what did he do? He gave it to Vibhishan. So, sometimes you don't let the material things in life, those temporal pleasures, send us down that road. If we believe and we sing the name of Ram, then behave like Shree Ram Chandraji. And these are just 3 of the 6 qualities that it is said. It is good to remember, recite, talk to our fellow man, inspire, remind. Then Ram Katha makes a difference. We hear upcoming Chaupai.
Jaya
Kaikeya Sutta Sumitra Do Sundara Sutta Janmata Bhaiso.
Ram 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 bolo, Ram Ram Ram, Ram 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 bolo, Ram Ram Ram.
Vaha Sukha Sampati Samaya Samaja Kahi na sake Sharada Ahiraja.
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Sri Ram having been born, something else was going on in the other two queen palaces. In Kaikeyi's palace, she had the birth of a son, Bharat. And in Sumitra's palace, she had twin sons, Shatrughna and Lakshman. So, what was the reaction of the citizens? Kaha Sukha Sampati Samay Samaja. This heralded prosperity for the world. We'll see why. Kahina Sakai Sharad Ahiraja. Neither Sheshnag with the proverbial 1,000 tongues or Saraswati Mata, the goddess of speech, they couldn't describe the gaiety, the glory, and the wonder of these three other incarnations. Sumitra. How come Kaushalya had one son, Kaikeyi had one, so Sumitra, Kaushalya had Ramchandraji, Kaikeyi had Bharat. How come Sumitra had two, Shatrughna and Lakshman? Tasam Kriya Tukaikeyi Sumitro Pasanarpika. Because these three queens were the embodiments of three qualities. You know, in our myopic, jaundiced eye, we said Dashrath had three wives. So Babs were happy if I have a little pork on the outside. Yeah, we just tell you that. Yeah. Yeah. You know, what's the problem with that, Babs? Because what you have on the outside is not Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi. You see, Dashrath, as the quotation says, was the incarnation of the Vedas. Kaushalya was the incarnation of Gyan, or spiritual wisdom. That abstract took a form. Then Kaikeyi was the embodiment of action. And who was Sumitra? Sumitro Pasanarmika. Sumitra was the embodiment of devotion, bhakti, unalloyed, unadulterated love for God without an agenda. That was Sumitra. So that has always been out, you know. That type of love has been out. And so she had the pleasure of having twin sons. But further to that, remember when she got the two portions, Dashrath gave a half to Kaushalya. That's from the Kirna, from which they came. A quarter was given to Kaikeyi. What happened to the other quarter? It was divided into two. He gave 1/8 of that, that is half of that, to Kaushalya. She gave it to Sumitra. That's how Lakshman came. That's why there was an inherent attachment between Lakshman and Ram, because it actually came from the same hand, Kaushalya. What did Kaikeyi do with the 1/8? She gave it to Sumitra. That gave Shatrughna. That's why Shatrughna and Bharat remained in Ayodhya. There was that filial connection. Further to that, when Sumitra got her two portions, not like we, you have roti here and you have sarabara on this side and eating like a pig. No, she partook of one and rested on the window sill. Now what happened then? Golden bird came, Pawandev took part and carried to Anjani, from which Hanuman came. So that was the Kaushalya portion. That's why Hanuman, Ram and Lakshman was a tight bunch now. It came from genealogy, from that singular act of Kaushalya with them. Point being made that among the sons, Hanumanji was the fifth son. Chiranjiva rahahutuma jabaravi lakishachesh tihuse vatmiti hahi sakala dustar katin kalesh. And in this era, when God is not physically there in a form that the world will recognize, who there? Hanuman Baba there. And we say, Baba idols say Hanuman Chalisa every Tuesday, every Saturday, and Bab's idols offer red flowers and do all that. But follow the qualities of Hanuman. Sita Shoka Vinashanaha. In the 12 revered days of Hanuman, I tell you about one of them. Sita Shoka Vinashanaha. What kind of news Hanuman does bring? He lifted the spirits of Sita Mata when she was in captivity. That is the kind of, if you want to be a Hanuman Bhakt, that is the kind of news to carry. Don't go down and bring down people character and shoo and move along people. Then forget Hanuman worship. Lego the chali side. Better if you Lego it, then you be sacrilegious with it. Because when you chant these constructed lines, it must impact on one's behavior. So anytime we have to carry news, make it news to uplift people. We might see something that, needs correcting, fine, there's a civil way to do it, a diplomatic way to do it, but not everything, so you have to bring bad news, rumor mongering, etc. It don't work so. Maybe the press should listen to that. And this is how the history and the mannerisms of the deities have to be like a template for us to follow, for it to make sense. So this was the kind of ecstasy that took place not only when Ramchandra was born, but also Bharat, Lakshman, Shatrughan, as we hear further in Chaupai.
Jai 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 Shri Rama, Jai 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 Shri Rama, Jai 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 Shri Rama.
Avadhapuri so hai bhati, Prabhu hi milan aaye janurati. Jai Ram Shri Rama,
Jai Jai Rama, Shri Rama Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama.
dekhi bhanu janu man sakuchani, kadapi bani sandhya anumani.
Jai 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 Shri Rama, Jai 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 Shri Rama, Jai 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 Shri Rama, Jai 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 Shri Rama.
Avadhapuri so hai bhati, Prabhu hi milan aaye janurati. So everybody came and they got a chance to have darshan, to see Bhagwan, to perform arati, to touch his feet. And so the day wore on, and it was time for nightfall. So Surya Narine was supposed to exit, that gives daylight, and Chandrama, who ushers in the night, was supposed to come there. So, everybody at Chandrama, the moon got over anxious to come his turn now, but what happened? He had on one part of the scale, he wanted to see God. And on the other part of the scale, his Lord was looking at God. His Lord is Surya Narine. Chandrama is one of the 9 grahas. Surya Narine is the head of the grahas. So on one hand, it have God there, and you're, I can't push my Lord out. I'm in Lord, Surya Narine. So what he do? He extend, for that day, he extend twilight. And that is where we come to Godhuli. We talk about Godhuli, performing arati within 12 minutes of sunset. We try to do that calculation, right? You don't have an exception on Saturday. Saturday is 24 minutes after sunset. Sunday have a Rahukal issue. Talk to any member of SVV will sort out of you. Point being made. It's the best time to perform arati 12 minutes after sunset. Because that is a reminder to Chandrama that I had to take a decision. And the decision I took benefited both sides. It benefited Surya Narine, because it tried, and it benefited me. I didn't push my Lord out. That's the power of Godhuli. That's the power of lighting a diya within 12 minutes of sunset. People say, light diya at sunset. Light diya at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock may not be sunset. Light diya within 12 minutes of sunset. And this is what made Chandrama so very happy. Dekhi banu januman sakuchani terapi bani sandhya anumani. Surya Narine and Chandrama play 2 pivotal roles in Sanatan Dharma. When it comes to consecrating a murti, you see for this year, it didn't have no date to consecrate any murti. The first date will be sometime in April. Check your calendar. Then early May have a date. What it is about these, they call them the luminaries. Shree Narine and Chandra, the luminaries. What that have to do with consecrated murti? Well, you see, if you read the Jyotish Shastra, it will tell you. You have to choose in a day, there are 12 options, but only 4 are recommended for consecrating a murti. That is 1. If you find that time in the day, Shree Narine and Chandra can't be operating at those times. They'll bring a blight to that home or to that village or to that temple, as the case may be, because luminary is not supposed to be part of Lagna. Follow the law. So how come, you stop on murti and you're consecrating and it says God? Yes, it's God, but there's a time about everything. So the luminaries play a key role in sharpening a murti. And thirdly, what about we sleeping arrangements? How we do sleep? Baba, the sun does rise on the east, so my head should be on the east. Well, let me tell you, then Krishna had it wrong. If your head had to be in the east, Krishna had it wrong. Because when Duryodhana and Arjun presented themselves to him to ask him to take part in the great Mahabharata war, he addressed Arjun first, and he gave Arjun the option. Arjun said, well, I go take option number 1. I want you lift no weapon, nothing. You be my charioteer. So when the battle was finished, Duryodhana went, he said, it was unfair, You take your partner Arjun, and you put him first. He said, no. If you lie down, you open your eyes, where you seen? You see by your head first, where you stand up, Duryodhana, or you seen by your foot first? Transcribe that to sleeping arrangements. Put your head on the west. So when the eyes open, you're in the direction of the sun's rays. Point number 2. There is what you call a magnetic pull of the earth. That's why when we have our corpse, that is one of the reasons why we put the head in the north, because you want that soul to detach. It already left the body, but to detach from the body, from one of the upper spheres, one of the upper apertures, either eyes or ears, as the case may be, nostrils, etc. So you allow the magnetic pull, the north magnetic pull of the earth, to take position. Right? So when you go into bed, and your 2 say, rice, zabuka, karhi, sarabara, and you lie down with your head in the north, what happened? It pull in. That food can't digest. Then you say, Baba, why it have a reflux? Why it have a this and for that? Baba are sleeping uncomfortable. No. Let the food be drawn down so the head goes on the south. Now people just jump and say, well, Yamraj is the south, the god of death. Listen, you're talking about khichdi and you're talking about stew bean. It's 2 different things. 2 different topics you're talking about here. We're talking about the natural pull of the earth. Yamraj will have his position. Like for instance, in a building, try not to put any entrances on the south. That is different. So it's difference we have to understand. So this was the position that Chandrababa found himself in, as we hear further in the Chaupai, as visitations to God were going on.
Sitaram, Sitaram, Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. Sitaram, Sitaram, Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. Bansi aayi, Ram, Ram, Ram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. Sitaram, Sitaram, Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham.
Avana vela dhvaniyati mridubani Janusaka salkagara samayakari Kautuka dekhi patanga bhulana Ekamaasa tehi jatan jana Ekamaasa tehi jatan jana
Sitaram, Sitaram, Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. Sitaram, Sitaram, Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham.
Bhavana Veda Dhvaniyati Mridubani Janu Khaga Sukhara Samaya Sukhasani Kautuka Dekhi Patanga Bulana Ekamaasa tehi jatan jana Ekamaasa tehi jatan jana
Sitaram, Sitaram, Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. Sitaram, Sitaram, Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. Sita hai Ram bolo, Radhe Sham bolo.
celebrations were taking place, what was the sound coming out of Ayodhya? Bhavana Veda Dhvani Ati Mridubani. They were hearing chanting of the Vedas. Janu Khaga Mukhara Samay Sukasani. It sounds sweet, like the melodious chirping of birds. Kautuka Deki Patang Bhulana Ekamaste Hi Jatan Jana. We'll come to that. Vedic chanting. One of the benefits of, we may not be able to sit and participate in every puja. There might be a home puja we invited as a guest. Go reach on time. Reach on time. Because if you don't, it may just slip by. A Vedic mantra might be chanted and we will not within earshot of hearing that. And there are blessings that accrue from listening to Vedic mantras, much more so participating in puja where Vedic mantras are done. We have just performed puja. To the end of every offering, I was saying, Om Bhurbhuva Swaha, Sri Ganeshaya Nama, Sri Ramaya Nama, Chandanam Samarpayami, Om Bhurbhuva Swaha. You know what it says? Bhur with the head, Bhuvaha with the arms, Swaha with the legs. I involve these three parts, important parts of the human body, to participate in puja. So we're sitting outside, and we kind of have a feel, agreed, and we envy the person who's performed. We wish we could have done it too, but no. God is saying that person is talking on behalf of you too. That did you get a chance? If you had a chance with head, hands, and feet, you would have come to God and perform oblations. The power of Vedic mantras, they transform lives. So being a guest in religious ceremonies has its worth, has its metal. Then in Kalsa Puja, when we do Kalsa Puja, we use all the Vedic mantras. The last mantra is Devadano Sambade Mathyamane Mahodade. That we are told at the end of Kalsa Puja that in the beginning of time, the Devatas and the Rakshasas had a conflict. And then Prabhu sent them to mate the ocean, to churn the ocean. And from the ocean came 14 qualities. One of them was poison. One was amrit, nectar, which gives immortality, pairs of opposites. So when we perform puja, we are being told that this life is the ocean. And we have to churn it. There'll be negative things and detractors and, spoilers. But there'll also be amrit. There'll be people we'll meet with that will bring immortality or liven us up or invigorate us. We have to search and sift in life. So not because you do puja, it had to be honky-dory. It will be honky-dory if we make it happen. The second line says, Kautuka deki patang bhulana ekamaste hi jatan jana. In fact, Vishnu Narine, the sun god, was so lost at looking at Ram that an entire Maas Divasa, an entire day passed with pure sunlight. So Chandrama feeling, I had to wait, boy. But I'm a boss man, I can't wait. But a good mentor knows his student. A good teacher, when the teacher will watch his student and know, they understand. You understand? And they shake it, but the teacher, a good teacher does know, they understand. So Namini, he knew that Chandrama was feeling a little, uncomfortable. So he says, come, I'll bless you. He says, overstay my time, but let your name Chandra, whoever take your name Chandra with Ram, get much more blessings. I have Ramachandra. So Suraj Narine blessed Chandra, that don't mind I take up your time. Your name get incorporated Ram. There's blessings for you. That's how Ramchandra came. We hear in the upcoming Doha. मन संतोष सबन के जहाँ तह देत आशीष ओ रामा जहाँ तह देत आशीष सकल तने चिरंजीवहु तुलसीदास के
सिया जय रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम शंकर हरि ओम जय जय श्री राम
मन संतोष the visitors to Shri Ram, Bharat, Lakshman and Shatrugna, Man Santosh Sabanake, all them came to visit with a contented mind. And when that happened, when you're contented, here what has happened? Taha, Jaha Taha Deta Ashish, it is blessed people. You don't give blessings grudgingly, you know. You don't want blessings from a person who gives it grudgingly. You want it, abundant blessings, copious blessings, without reservation. And that can only happen if that person is in a stage of contentment. How does contentment come? Urita Agastya Panta Jalasokha, Jimmy Lobahi Soka Hi Santosha, Ram told Lakshman, Ram told the world that just as when there's abundant torrential rainfall and puddles of water gather on the ground, when the constellation known as August rises to the sky, then by next morning the water dries up. So too, contentment dries up lobe or greed. So for one to become content, one has to suppress or get rid of greed. Other than that, you can't be contented to bless people unreservedly, abundantly, to take care of the greed. Not only Parata and Dalpuri, take care of the greed that will climb on other people's back to get to a certain place. That is greed. So contentment takes care of that. Sakala Tanai Chara Jivahu Tulsi Das Ke Ish. And everybody blessed that may he live long, Shri Ramchandra live long. So we just say, Babs, I want God to live long. God go live long. But Babs, I wish God live long. Well, we really wish that. Take a couple who in love. Right? They're married. Man, look, he going to work, he go pass about 3 calls. One go be FaceTime. He had to see she face. He come home, the boy say, Satsang tonight. He say, I go be a little late. He must see the face. So that is how you just treat with somebody. He wants you out of sight. I cheat on you. Nothing wrong with that. But take God. Om Namah Shivaya. He see me this morning. And the next time he see me, the next time is tomorrow morning. And listen, it's no idle reference, I quote for you. Prathama Bhakti Sanatan Kara Sangha Dusari Ratima Katha Sangha. In the 9 steps to devotion, the second one is Dusari Rati. Have love for God as Kamdev, the God of love, had for his wife Rati. So love between male and female could be likened to love between man and God. That's the kind of love. You can't do without them. So, don't be a part-time lover of God, man, and tell me, you believe in God. No. Nobody has to spend 2 hours inside. Hit them a little 1-minute self. Talk to your Baba. You go construct how to fix your prayer, and you go on with your schedule. So, this is why they didn't want to do Chiranji, may Ram be children, because we can't do without him. As we hear in Chaupai.
Raghupati Rai Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Raghupati Rai Jai Ram.
Kachuk divas bite bhati, jatan janahi dena arurati, naam karan kara avasar mani, bhup bole pathaye muni gyani.
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Raghupati Rai Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Raghupati Rai Jai Ram, Raghupati Rai Jai Ram, Raghupati Rai Jai Ram.
So days passed in this way until Nam Karan Sanskar, giving the name. That's a Sanskar. So we spoke about 4 Sanskars. The 5th one is giving the name of the child. It can be done on the 10th day of birth. Date of birth is day 1. You check 10 days, Baba check his Patra and see. Well, if the 10th are good, the 12th day. If the 12th ain't good, the 16th day. And there are times when 10, 12, and 16 aren't good. A clever barber gives you a day right after that. Let me just suppose a child born in last month, in the beginning of Kalmas. You couldn't get a date for a month. So you hold it and then give the child a name, because naming is very important. You know, a Chila come by me. I married them about a year ago. They come back. By the time they come, I know it's Mahabharat war. Because the girl face swell up, and the boy like he talking in syllables. Sitaram, yeah. So he doesn't know now. So he come here. So after you cool them down and thing, he asks, I say, boy, what really going on? She said, Baba, wait, let he hold on you. He just called me names. I said, Colin, so what you just call a girl? Well, I get frightened. No, what he calling she? He said, he just whole time just called me 12, 12, 12. I said, I see nothing wrong with that. 12 is a dozen. He said, Baba, listen, yes, she doesn't cook, she doesn't clean, she doesn't iron. You know, what should I giving people name, man? You know, give nice name. Hindu names are either adjectives or nouns. It's like an English name or what. They carry name. They resonate with certain syllables. Or you know the alphabet, gutturals, palatals, etc., cerebrals. That's why you give Hindu names, not merely because you're born in a Hindu home, because you want the child. If you keep calling the child fool, that child will want to feel foolish, you know. So names very important. It molds that being. And so, Nam Karan Kara Avasari, head Avasari. A chosen time, Avasari is a chosen time, was given by whom? Bhupa Boli Pate Munigyani. Dashrath sent out a very nice invitation to Guru Vasisht. He says, it is time, O Gurudev, for giving the name, I invite you to come, and so do. Before we go into that, let me point a bit on sanskar. So the fifth sanskar is name. The sixth sanskar is nirshkaman. The first time you take the child out, look, the child born, come home from the nursing home or come home from Mount Hope, and you go in, let's say the first child, doctor, this is the child tomorrow. There's a nishkraman. If you can't change it, there is you talk to your Baba. There's a certain direction you will take the child in. Likewise, when the parent coming out from nursing home and so forth, there are certain little maneuvers, simple maneuvers you do when you're coming home. So that is nishkraman. That's the sixth sanskar. The seventh sanskar is annaprashan, when cereal around 6 months is introduced to the child. Around that time, you could do the seventh sanskar, Karan could bow ears. No, right? Now we should try and bow ears for boys too, because it look like the boys were more than the girl. I mean nothing, you know, boy. So that's the seventh sanskar. Then the eighth sanskar is Churakaram, the cutting of the hair. So all these are rites of passage that have to be performed for the child. And the example was set by no other than Emperor Dashrath. He was not King Dashrath, you know. We just say so, you know, in just talking. A king does own a certain domain. He was Emperor Dashrath. And if the emperor could lay down the rules, who are we to question and not follow? We hear, as the naming begins, Chaupai. सभा का हरिय नाम जो मुनि गुनि राखा मुनि गुनि राखा नायक रघुवंशना इनके नाम अनेक अनुपा मैं इंद्र कहब स्वामति रूपा स्वामति रूपा नायक रघुवंशना सारंग वर्णना नायक रघुवंशना नायक रघुवंशना. So Guru Vasishtha came, was welcome. Kari Puja, Bhupati Asad Bhaka. Emperor Dashrath went down on the feet of his Guru and did his puja. You see, Gurus had stature. When Vishwamitra, the Vidya Guru of Sri Ram, came to Ayodhya, what did Emperor Dasharatha do? He vacated his throne and ushered Vishwamitra sit on his throne. And what did he say? What I could do for you? No, he said, Agya Gurudev, instruct me. Meaning, if you feel to sit down there and control Ayodhya, that's no problem with me. But he knew, or he didn't, he realized, he knew, he relied on the fact that those were not men of the world. You think a kingdom mattered to them? They were king in their own rights. And so, this is Emperor Dasharatha ushering in Guru Vasishtha with all reverence. Agya Gurudev, instruct me. Inake naam anek anupa, he says, as I begin to watch your first son Ram, incomparable names, myriads of incomparable names come to my mind. May nirpakahab samati anurupa, but I will give the one that I choose. Always acknowledge the word of our Guru. We are entitled to question a Guru. But when it concretizes in the mind that he knows what he's talking about, don't waste time in questioning the man. We are saying follow blindly, but there are sometimes could be consumed unnecessarily. Because a Guru is beyond the paras. A paras is a proverbial philosopher's stone, which when it touches any metal, that metal turns to gold. But it doesn't change it to another paras. But a Guru will touch your life and elevate that life more than the Guru is known. Swami Vivekananda was more known than his Guru, Paramhansa. Hardly you would hear about it. So the Guru doesn't have a problem about raising the status of the chela because the Guru is comfortable in his own shoe. Ramayana is a book of definitions. As if that is not enough, let me hear what Ramayana says about a Guru. Prabhu Priya Puja Pita Sama Apu Kula Guru Samahita Mayana Bapu Mani Manika Mukta Chabi Jaisi Ahi Giri Gajana Sohana Taisi
Jai Jai Sitaram Radhesham Rajai Ram Kaise Zindagi Jeetega Ram Jai Jai Sitaram Radhesham Rajai Ram Kaise Zindagi Jeetega Bina Ram
Prabhu Priya Puja Pita Sama Apu Kula Guru Samahita Mayana Babu Mani Manika Mukta Chabi Jaisi Ahi Giri Gajana Sohata Kaisi
Jai Jai Sitaram Radhesham Rajai Ram Kaise Zindagi Jeetega Ram Jai Jai Sitaram Radhesham Rajai Ram Kaise Zindagi Jeetega Bina Ram.
Bharat told the gathering in the forest, Prabhu Priya Puja, he turned to Ramchandra, God. He says, you are God, worthy of adoration. Pitasama Apu, he turned to Janak, his father-in-law. He says, you like a father, my father has passed on. That's what you're like my father. But Kola Guru Samahita Mayana Bapu. But with all due respect, my Guru is way above in stature than you all whom I don't respect. That is the power of a Guru. That is the endorsement of a Guru. Mani Manik Mukta Chabijaisi. It says the gem in the dense forest. You have to go and mine, and through much trial and tribulation, you might extract a bit of the gem. Manik is, money is the proverbial gem that is found in the serpent's head. And ivory, mukta, is found in the elephant. In their natural habitat and in their natural environment, it's difficult to access. Not that we should be mining ivory. It's difficult to access. But what's a guru? A guru will extract those. We ain't had time to read Bhagavad Gita. We ain't had time to read Ramayana. We ain't had time to read this and read that. So what guru does? He takes his time. And he sits down and researches. And then he extracts those gems and pearls and bring it. And we sit down in satsang and we hear it. And on top of that, we have lunch after. That is the greatness of a guru. That is the power of a guru. So Guru Vasishtha was ready now in the upcoming Chopai to name Ram.
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Shankar Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Shankar Ram.
Jo Anand Sindhu Sukharasi.
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Sikarate Trailokya Supasi.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
So Sukhadham Rama Asanama. Akhila Lokada Yaka Visharama.
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Shankar Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Shankar Ram.
So Guru Vasishtha says, Jo Anand Sindhu Sukharasi, he who is an ocean of happiness and the very home of pleasure. Sikarate Trailokya Supasi, who as the ocean of happiness, even a drop from him will bring comfort and happiness to the three worlds. So Sukadhama Rama Asanama, that home of pleasure I bestow the name Ram. Akhila Lok Dayak Visharama, and he who lovingly takes that name of Ram will receive peace and comfort wherever they reside. Which Ram? You think Sri Ram Chandraji, you think Bhagwan Krishna, Vaman Bhagwan, Narsingh came once in history? And I raised this because there was a little doubt somebody asked, so we clarify it. So, in a round of creation called a kalp, it's 4.32 billion years. So that goes for 28 times, then we come back to one. Where are we in the rounds of creation? We are in the 7th round of creation. So 4.32 by 6 billion years have gone by. In each round of creation, you have Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kalyug. That is called a Chaukari. And that goes wrong 1,000 times. So, if Ram came in Treta, which Treta? In every round of creation, there are 1,000 Tretas. So Ram came 1,000 times in the first round of creation. If we are in the 7th round of creation, Ram Chandraji came at least 6,000 times. And to be exact, he came 6,454 times thus far. And still we can't learn a lesson to live in peace with family, to live in peace with our neighbor, to suppress war and anger and restore love and bring love to the world. We still have not learned that lesson. We done see too bad. If a teacher teach a subject 3 times, what me hear nothing else, he born me to death. Ram teaching me 6,400 people, still we learn me lesson. Something had to be wrong, not with Ram. Something had to be wrong, critically wrong with us. Fundamentals we have to explain to people. Things that you don't expect an explanation you have to explain to people. What wrong? Where's the Hindu mind? Where is the Hindu mind? Has it centralized and focused on Ram? Where are we? Where we are honing in on is where the doubt was. So in this, each kalpa, each 4.32 billion years, it could be divided into 14 what you call manvantaras. We in the 7th manvantara. So each manvantara, to get it 1,000 times, has 71 tretas, 71 kalyug, right? We in the 28 kalyug. That's how we get 6454. So even in this time we are living in, God, Ram done come 28 times. In this little microcosm that we calling time. 28 times already. And you know what's the beautiful thing, and we live and we don't know? This particular Manvantar, he came in his 22nd incarnation. You know there are 24 main incarnations of God. The last one was Buddha, 23. The one to come is Kalki. The one before that was Vaivasvat, and that is where we're living in. So we have double whammy in this age, and still we ain't cherishing it. What a wonder. Bidhi Harihara Tapadekhi Apara. Time wouldn't allow it, but there are references. Ramayana is riddled with references where Ram is eternal God. Before Dashrath and Kaushila were incarnated, Dashrath Swayambhu Manu, he was the progenitor of one of them Manus we talk about. His wife was Shatrupa. And they wanted to see God and went through austere penances till Vidhi Harihar, Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva came time and time again to satisfy their quest. But they said, no, we want the supreme. And then they heard an aerial voice. When Kagji took the form of a light and entered the entrails of God, what did he see? Loka prati bhinna vidhata, bhinna Vishnu Shiva Manudi Sitrata. He saw several cosmos, each with his own Brahma, each with his own Vishnu, each with his own Shiva, but one Ram, ek Ram. Jagapekan tumadekani Ram asks Valmiki, where shall I take up residence? Valmiki smiled, he said, you're asking me? When you peep through the skies like a window, and by the mere beat of your brow, you make Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva dance. You asking me where to take up reference? So Ramayana is riddled of references. Who is Ram? And so that's the name that Vishisht gave to the Lord. We hear in the last chopper and then final Dohan we close.
Raghu
son was Bharat. Vishwa Bharan Poshan Karjoi. Bharat, says the Emperor Guru Vasishtha, he is Poshan Karta. He is the sustainer. Vishnu Bhagwan, the sustainer. He has come down as Bharat. And he has a pivotal role in our life, you know. He sees about food, shelter, and clothing. Before we eat a morsel of food, take the name of God. But you know, we can't remain stationary in life. So you could say, Turiyam Vastu Govindam, nothing wrong with our prayer. But here the next one. Harid Data, Harid Bhokta, Hariranam Prajapatihi. Short little mantra. That I take Hari, Vishnu Bhagwan, as I take this mouthful of food, because I know Harid Data is through you it came. So we thank God for the food take. What about, you know, we live in an age of criminality. Baba, give me a tabij. Listen, you get, as we just get a tabij every month. Look at your monthly calendar. You go see time for new clothes. Just watch your time. It might not be work time. Just watch your time. Put on what you have to put on. Take a yellow flower. Go by Vishnu Bhagwan. Om Namo Narayanaya. Ashtakshar mantra. Short process. Quick. That's the first time you wear these clothes. And who you went to? You went to the provider of clothes. Who go point a gun? Did they point gun now? You know, I mean to say go walk long lab till 4 o'clock in the morning. You have to be prudent too, right? But no, there's a tabij, and you know tabij from Baba, there's a protection. And then you have arthritis, sugar, pressure, this, that. Take his name, Om Hrum Namo Vishnave, as you take a little Panadol. Right? I ain't think I 1% to them company. Else I got advertise something else. So, you know, before, he is your sustainer. Bring him, draft him. And look, these are simple, user-friendly maneuvers, you know. So, Guru Vasishtha says that is the savior of man, that is the sustainer of mankind in the form of Bharat. Then he turns to Shatrughan. Now listen, is Ram in order of birth? Ram, Bharat, Lakshman, Shatrughan. But Lakshman get leave out there, why? When we go here in the final duha, why Lakshman get leave out for the time being? He went to Shatrughan, the last son. He says, Jake Sumirante Ripunasha Nam Shatrughan Ved Prakasha. You know, we just talk about measuring performance. You know, you have workers, how you measure performance. You mean some worker who's sucking up to the boss, doing that because he'll get a good write-up now, a yearly write-up? Not that. Shatrughan didn't suck up to anybody. Because in the absence of Ram for 14 long years, with Bharat's tacit approval to sit on the throne, Shatrughan sat on the throne, not for 1 year, not for 2 years, but for 14 years without any blemish. Don't ever mistake. That was the incarnation of God. That was Dashrath. But there were warring factions and territories surrounding the empire that Dashrath took care of. That when the mantle of leadership was handed to Shatrughan, he didn't falter. You ever hear in Ramayana that somebody invaded Ayodhya for them 14 years? You ever hear the people were pining and groaning in Ayodhya in the absence of Dashrath, in the absence of Ram, in the absence of Bharat? It never happened. Measure performance. So if we want to be good workers, follow Shatrughan. Take this line, Nam Shatrughan, Jake Sumirante Rupanasha, Nam Shatrughan. That is how to measure performance. Don't only take the line, but know that line stands, that I must be able to measure performance. And he says, he, who is he? Ved Prakash. Which is the deity that bear the Vedas in his hand? Brahma. So he says, Shatrughan is no other than Brahma. In your stewardship, you become creative. Politics is in the air. What do we do with your education system? You have to take away scholarships. That shouldn't be. But if you're going to bring back scholarships and broaden the horizons, give incentives to the jobs that are needed in the country. Give incentives to that. So you have to be creative, innovative, and Brahma is the creator. So if we factor him in a daily prayer, we too can become creative in our world, in our endeavors, as we hear in our final duha, as Lakshman is addressed. Lashana Dhama Rama Priya Sakala Jagata Aadhar Guru Vasishtha was Vishnu Bhagwan, the sustainer. Brahma was the creator, Shatrughna was the creator of Brahma. So we have Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Lashana Dhama Rama Priya. That deity who is closest to Ram, Rama Priya, is Bhagwan Shiva. Bhagwan Shiva came as Hanuman, but such was the intensity of his love to be the presence of God, he manifested in different answers, one of which was Lakshman. So Lakshman was an answer, projection of Shiva that came to keep company of Ram. Was not only keep company, you know. Lashanadham, he was the abode of qualities. What qualities? To stand by God. Not first time, you know, you're there doing puja, havan, offering flowers and stuti and stotra, and the first challenge me to your cave in, I not God child. You just stand up like man. There has to be. Where's the faith? We have faith. We have faith. Where's the faith to stand? And Lakshman was a shining example, an epitome of how to stand by God. Reference in Ramayana. When the 16th incarnation of God, known as Parshuram, remember 16 was Parshuram, 17 was Vyas, 18 was Ram, 19 Balaram, 20 Krishna, 21 Hayagriv, right? So when that incarnation of God, Parshuram, came in angry at the breaking of the bow, who was the one who stood up to him? His Lakshman stood up. He stood by Rams, and look who was there. Listen, a past master in the use of weapons in the history of Sanatan Dharma was Parshuram. And Lakshman stood up there with his simple bow and arrow. He says, what you want to do? You want to bully my boss? It can't happen so. That's how we stand by God. So all them people who bully people, whether they went St. Mary's or wherever they went, know what to do when the time comes. And so Lakshman stood by his side. When Meghnad, you see the same Havan, a mantra we're using for Havan these 9 nights, Om, Aim, Hrim, Klim, Chamundai, Vichahe. That same one. Meghnad performed that over and over. So he was virtually unconquerable. And the only man who could have conquered him was somebody who had, among other things, Karev Vrat. Be frugal in what you eat and be measured in sleep for 12 years. That was Lakshman. That is why when Shree made the bed and she gave Ram to eat, and Ram said, oh, so sweet, and he passed it to Lakshman. Lakshman didn't partake because he was under Vrat. He didn't disrespect Shree. He was under Vrat to take care. He was focused on the demise of Meghnad. And when he did confront Meghnad take his lance and strike him down. He lent unconscious. So Lakshman was prepared to give up his life for the sake of standing by God. And if you stand by God, that can't happen. Your life ain't going to lose. Because what happened? He, other brother Hanuman, went and brings Sajivan and sought him out. So God does find a way for that which seems improbable and impossible. And that is the Lakshman we are talking about. Sakala Jagat Adhar, Guru Vasishtha Hiraki, Lakshman Nam Udar. And so, at the end of the naming ceremony, all went well. But the important thing, says Guru Vasishtha, time your events. We just tell you how to do naming sanskar. Every event should be timed. There are reasons behind that. Parvati Mata, seeing Bhagwan Shiva on Mount Kailash, you know, all these sages and saints coming for siksha and lesson and satsang. You know, like a mother says, oh God, Prabhu, the cold, the bitter cold of Kailash, and look at it, they'll stand up in the open, they'll sit on the open and listen to Katha. Let me throw up a little shed for them now. He said, David, that's a very good idea, noble idea, but it ain't time for that. She said, wait a more time, I'm suffering, man. So, you know, some women have a way to just get away now. Lunat, eh? And so, Bhagwan Shiva smilingly erected a little shed. So, Parvati saw that he was a little, you know, uneasy. She says, Prabhu, why are you uneasy for? He said, well, this happened when Shanichar had full gaze the time now. And that means, when I checked, that means this place go Bandung, you know. She said, Bandung, you are Jagat Pita, you are the father of the world. Go visit Shanichar. And once you visit him, I sure all will be well. And she said, just in case you visit him, and all are well, you make me a signal, and I will go money down. He won't get a chance to money down. So she said, he said, what is the signal? She said, beat a damaru. A little drum, I go, no. So Bhagwan Shiva, by the time Bhagwan Shiva was spotted from a distance by Siddhartha, Siddhartha went down on all fours and he prostrated before Bhagwan Shiva. What is my luck today that I have you? Shiva said, I bless you, I bless you. He said, Prabhu, what can I do for you? He said, well, such and such take place. He said, that could never happen, man. You come to my door. So Bhagwan Shiva said, well, what I could give you in return? He said, you really want me? He said, do the Tandau dance. Now, part of the Tandau dance, where does do? You're a baja, very damru. So Shiva smiled, he dancing and Parvati had damru. What happened? Burn it down. In them days, the fire station was like Tunapuna fire station. The hose had plenty hole, and sometimes they had a vehicle there. So obviously, when time was not right, and look who had to succumb to it, the mother of the universe and the father of the universe. So understand, our Sarajani Vibhishan Ava. Vibhishan got kicked out of physically kicked out of Lanka, but he returned as king of Lanka. Don't be myopic and look as far as your nose go and say things ain't going good. Do what we have to do. Make concerted efforts and leave it in Bhagwan's hands. Ek baat bolo Siyawar Ramachandra ki. At this juncture, we bring Katha to an end. We'll close it with Vandana. After the Vandana, we'll start Palana Puja. What I urge you, the house staff who are doing a little celebrating, all come first, and then we will keep everybody waiting. Come on, we'll do the puja for you, all right? So, closing Vandana. Om Raksha Raksha Mahadeva Raksha Raksha Janardhanam Rakshantu Devata Sarve Brahma Vishnu Maheshwaram. Om Tumeva Mata Chapita Tumeva Bandhuscha Sakha Tumeva Vidya Dravinam Tumeva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bolo Sri Gajanan Swami ki jai. Bolo Sri Saraswati Mata ki jai. Bolo Sri Guru Maharaj ki jai. Umapati Mahadev ki jai. Paunaputra Hanuman ki jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Siyawar Ramachandra ki. So maybe the helpers could keep some flowers here. Maybe a chandan. We have 2 palanas, so 2 chandan, 2 such flowers, agarbatti and arti, and we'll run smoothly with that. Okay? So the house people can come first, and then we'll go ahead. Meanwhile, we'll do the chant for who want to join. Bhaja Ram Bhaja Man Ram Bhaja Man Ram Bhaja Man Bhavri. Don't forget, lunch is served. So as soon as this set, see about you all, lunch is served. Bhaya Pragata Kripala Dina Dayala Kaushalya Hitakari. Bhaya Pragata Kripala Dina Dayala Kaushalya Hitakari. Hare Shita Mahatari Muni Manahari
Anputaru Panihari Bhaja Ram Bhaja Mana Ram Bhaja Mana Ram Bhaja Mana Bhavri.
Lochana Bhirama Tanu Ghana Shama Nija Ayudha Bhojachari. Lochana Bhirama Tanu Process. Some of you all come on this side. Who next in line come on this side? To speed up the process. Go ahead, Roy Chandan. Om Shri Khandam Chandram Dibyam Gandhadayum Sumhoram Vamanhabdi Chandan. Vilipanam Srishagana Parameshwara. Flowers. Om Malidini Sugandhini Malidini Vaiprabho. Mayanitani Pushpani Pujadatam Pratighitam. Agarbati. Agarbati. Incense. Vamanhadi incense. Follow me. Om Vanaspati Rasud Bhuto Gandhadayu Gandhotamaha. Agra Sarvdevanam Dhupoyam Pratighitam Arti. Om Saj Arti. Om Arti. Om Sajan Chavarti Samiktam Vahana Yojitamaya. Dipam Gahana Devi Shatra Lukuti Mirapaha. Give Dipal Nalil Rock. Om Hiranya Garba Garbastam Hima Bijay Bhavasoho. Ananta Punya Paladam Santi Prachame. Give Dipal Nalil Rock. Chandan. Om Shri Khandam Chandaram Dibyam Gandhadiyam Sumdhoram. Vilipanam Surashishtra Gahana Parameshwara. Flowers. Om Maladini Sugandhini Maladini Vaiprabho. Mayanitani Pushpani Pujadatam Pratighitam. Agarbati. Om Vanaspati Rasul Bhuto